Alright, here we go. Thursday live stream number 5 or whatever, I think. I have no plans for this one. That should be like the little side title, I guess. Well, shit, what should I draw? I feel like I just woke up, even though, like, I've been awake for a bit, because I just, like, woke up and just started getting ready for this. So, let's see. I'll just start out with a circle. Really exciting. Oh, hello. I always love the first few minutes of the live stream. It's just me awkwardly sitting here drawing with the camera on. But I'm always happy when someone shows up. How's it going, Boston? I have no doubt DZ Dog is gonna probably show up soonish. Probably. He usually does. Maybe. I'm doing okay. I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of these live stream things, though. So yeah, I have no plans for this live stream whatsoever, so I'm literally just drawing whatever. So I just drew Scotty to start, because I was like, whatever. Whee! I'm just really excited about going to Burbank. I've been wanting to go to Burbank, and my sister's like, hey, I want you to come out for this punk show. And at first I was like, I don't really want to spend money on a trip to LA. And then while I'm on the phone with my sister, one of the people in the house starts looking up plane tickets to LA, and it's like it's $115. I'm like, I can't really say no to a trip to LA when it's $115. Also, hello Josh, how are you? Oh, awesome. Not sure what you mean by fucking good shots, but I mean, if they're fucking good whatevers, that's good. No matter what we're talking about, if it's anything that's fucking good is fucking good. Kind of figured you meant camera, but I wasn't sure. Okay. Still not awake. But that doesn't mean I can't draw. You don't need to be awake to draw. You just need to have a will of iron. I don't know what the hell to draw. I kept having this stupid image of Rubariat last night, and I don't want to draw a star thing again, but I'm like, okay, it's kind of stuck in my head, so fuck it, I'll draw it. I'm like, I'm not gonna draw anything star related. Draw something star related. God damn it. Like, man, it just got stuck. Oh, draw a hand? Oh, I could do that too. Ah, hell. Oh no, I can draw anything. What do I do? There's too much to draw. Explodes. Okay. Let's see. Hell, you know, I do need to practice hands. I'll do that too. Later, Rubariat. Oh, all you need is a hand. Well, I should practice hands anyway. You just kind of reminded me. I'm like, I've been sucking at hands lately, and what the hell, I should do something like that. Actually, there's one guy in particular, Milk Call, badass animator of all time. He does amazing hands. So let me see if I can find those. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this guy's on another level. But, okay, let's go. Oh, God. Alright. Why do I keep losing the picture? Stupid. My mouse is, like, totally crappy, and it keeps screwing up on me. Alright. There we go. I'll just turn this into an educational live stream. I'll be like, here's how you draw hands, and here's how you do this, and this is how you, you don't cry yourself to sleep at night when you can't draw as well as Milk Call. Milk Call was so good that he actually, like, usually when they were assigning animation projects to everybody, each person usually got one character to animate, but Milk Call was such a good draftsman that he pretty much got stuck animating a little bit of every character on pretty much all the movies, because like, he was just, nobody else could draw and draft as well as he did. So, so, like, he would always get stuck, like, and he'd always get stuck drawing the really boring stuff. Like, he got stuck with the Prince and Snow White and, like, that kind of shit just because, he was, you know, because he could do it. It's the classic, you know, you do a good job, so you're gonna do all the stuff. Um, you know, you got to do all the stuff everybody else can't do. That's no problem, Boston. I mean, as long as you're drawing, like seriously, I don't like you could disappear for 3 months as long as you come back with 3 months worth of drawing. Like I'll be upset, but I'll be like, okay, he has 3 months worth of drawing. I'm over it. Like that's amazing. Like I'd just be like, I didn't miss you at all. But that's the catch is you gotta have the drawing to back it up. Be like, this is why I was gone, and I'm like, okay. But Milt calls, I think, to me the most amazing work he ever did was Shere Khan because he animated all those stripes. Everett and like he had to keep track of every single one of them for every movement on Shere Khan. And if you watch it, it's just crazy. And apparently what he did was he gave each stripe like a name, and he just basically that's how he remembered, which is like wow. I can't even. I just look at Shere Khan's animation and I'm like shit. So actually, this is something I've like never really shown on a live stream before. It's just like how I go about practicing shit I don't know how to do. I pretty much just, you know, I look up references and then I try to draw them. And the thing is, like, by doing this, you're, you know, it's even if it doesn't feel like you're doing much, you're starting to learn the structure. So like when you like later I'll be drawing a character, and because I did some of this stuff, I'll naturally be like, oh, I know how to draw a freaking hand now. So I know how to actually tilt the hand the angle I want it to be at. And hands are so really important because even more so than facial expression, we actually read hand movements a lot more. So if you're always drawing the character, boy, yes. If you're always drawing a character with their hands in their pocket, you know, it's like that's always going to be the same expression. You need to bring the hands out to get more varied expressions. Oh man. See, the irritating thing is fingers like overlap, but like they overlap in a certain way, and like even with these are cartoony hands. These aren't even realistic hands, but they have this overlap where it's just like a bunch of cylinders. Okay. I love it though. I'm really excited to go to Burbank, and like I can't believe we got that ticket that cheap because it's usually about $200, but it was only like 115. That's crazy. Hello, DZ Dog. I knew you'd show up soon. I was waiting with bated breath. I'm currently drawing hands because I had no plans for this live stream whatsoever, and I was like, it was basically a miscommunication between me and Boston. Then I sat there and went, shit, I should practice hands. And that's basically where I'm at now. I have no plans. But I am going to Burbank in April, and I'm really excited. Because, like, that was the thing. My sister wanted me to go to a show. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to go to a show because, like, I don't want to spend the money. But then, like, the plane ticket to go out to LA was really cheap. And that was the thing, too, though. She's worrying we might not even be able to get tickets to the concert she wanted to go to. And I'm like, well, I really just want to go to Burbank and just kind of, like, look at all the animation stuff I still haven't checked out yet. Because apparently, oh my god, there's a cafe where like all the animation artists draw on the wall, and I need to go there. And like there's just a bunch of those things I want to do. I'm like, I really just want to go to Burbank. Is it cool if like I just get the plane ticket since it's cheap and we just hang out at Burbank? And she's like, yes, let's do this. Even if we don't go to the show, we'll go to Burbank. And like she's even talking about like possibly renting a hotel room in Burbank just so we don't have to drive, because where she lives it's about like half-hour drive, 45-minute drive to Burbank, and we'd actually be able to stay there like all day forever. Because if you haven't been to LA ever, literally you have to like plan, like parking is a nightmare. Oh my god, I don't like LA very much, but there's cartoons there, so like to me it's like I'm like I will go to hell for cartoons. I don't care. I hate LA so much, but that being said, I'm really excited about going. I make a lot of sense, I know. But I mean, like, there's just so many cool cartoon things in Burbank that it's like, it's worth dealing with the shitty parking and like the freaking Hollywood lifestyle shit that's all around it, just because it's like, look, there's cartoons here. I love cartoons so much. I don't know if you've caught on to that or not. Oh, look at me go with this hand. I think I'm actually starting to wake up. Holy shit. Like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, hand, and it looks pretty good, actually. How did that happen? Just start talking about how much I love Burbank and cartoons, and that's the secret. You just have to talk about how much you love cartoons, and your cartoons will get better as you draw them. That's how it works. Totally how it works. And that one little... Yay! Milk Call was a beast. Oh yeah, his last movie was The Rescuers. And so, like, I said earlier that, like, he basically did, like, a little bit of every character on every other movie he worked on. And for his last movie, he went, God damn it, I'm getting my own character. I'm tired of picking up everyone's shit. And he's like, it's my last movie, I want my own character. And just, you know, he ended up doing Madame Medusa, and that was all his design work and all his animation. And it's so funny because, like, he goes all out on it. He's like, fuck this shit, I'm going crazy. And that's some of, like, the best character animation that exists. I'm really glad you wouldn't miss my live stream for the World DZ, because knowing that you're gonna show up gives me the courage to actually start, because, like, my worst fear is just, like, starting my live stream and then being, like, drawing for 4 hours in silence on camera. Like, I don't really care, but at the same time, I'm kinda like, I love it when people show up, so it's not so awkwardly quiet, you know. The one thing, though, I'm surprised at is that Hekaho hasn't showed up yet, because she was like, are you doing the live stream today? I'm like, you know I'm doing the live stream today. Where are you? So, actually, I don't even know if Hekaho is a she, but anyway, I don't know, it doesn't matter. They a hoe, I know that much, and they're pretty funny. So, god damn, Milk Call, you're so good. I mean, you're dead now, but you were so good. I gotta find out where that cafe in Burbank is. You guys don't even... This week has been a beautiful week for me. And, like, I'm so excited about, like, life and everything in general that it's, like... I think I'm scaring people with my enthusiasm. I'm like, I am so excited for life and everything. They're like, okay, sure. And I'm like, alright. I mean, some people can handle it. They're like, yeah, awesome, I'm really glad. And then some people are just like, they're just like, hands are... I mean, honestly, the thing is, everything is a pain in the ass to draw when you don't draw it. And literally the only way to get around it is to just dive in head first and just be like, I'm gonna draw these freaking hands and I'm gonna fail a million times, but by the end, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you eventually get to this point where you just crack and like you're drawing everything and every freaking thing you're drawing looks like crap. So like let's say hands and you're just drawing hands and you're like every hand looks like crap, and then eventually you just get tired and you're just like, you know what, fine, I don't even care, like it's just a stupid hand, you know, it's just like 4 fingers and like, and then all of a sudden it's like it's a full hand and you're like, oh shit, you know, it's like, oh, I drew a hand. I guess this is really stupid, but it's kind of like that one SpongeBob episode where he forgets how to make a Krabby Patty and then like he's retraining to like make the Krabby Patty. He's like, I can't put a patty in a bun and lettuce, tomato, and like in that order. I can't do it. And then it's like all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, I made. Oh, okay. I guess I do know how to make it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You just draw and fail, and then you're good. Just you hit that point where you're like, I've drawn so many hands and not one of them looks good, and then God, and then all of a sudden you draw like, and then you start getting the shapes, and you're like, or alternatively you quit, you throw up all your art in the air, and you're like, I don't even know why I thought I could do this, and then you look at it later and you go, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was, because sometimes in the moment it seems worse than it really is, just because when you've been practicing over and over again, it just looks bad. Okay. This, speaking of looking bad, check out this this masterwork. Clearly I still have some shit to learn. Oh god, that looks... Okay, come on, Tori. You can do this. Trained our whole lives for this. Oh, another fun fact about Milt Kahl while I'm thinking about it. He actually, like, he was the best draftsman that they had, and that's why he ended up working on multiple characters all the time instead of getting his own character like the rest of the animators. But he actually never went to art school. And I just thought this was interesting that even back then this kind of stigma existed, where he never went to art school, and like all the rest of the guys had gone to like Frank and Ollie went to like Stanford, and he just never did. He was just really good at it, so he just really kept at it and kept drawing. And despite never going to art school, he was still better at drawing than most of the guys. And I can't remember where it was, but I was listening to something he was doing. It was like some interview, and he said he's like, the only reason like I'm better than them is just because I practiced on like those other lazy bastards. He always called them lazy bastards, and I loved it. I'm like, who are you? I love you. You're calling the other master animators lazy bastards. This is a terrible hand. I should just well, this is my last live stream, guys. I quit. I can't draw. Clearly, I don't know what I've done with. It's all over. Nah, just kidding. But God, this is a really shitty hand. All right, try that again later. Try a different hand now. But yeah, and he also he was not notorious. He was kind of somewhat like famous for having a hump on his back because he was always hunched over animating. So he had like just like this huge like hunchback. And people always said it was from animating, and I think he kind of liked perpetuating that, but I actually found out later too that the reason his back actually did that was because he actually went through a period in his life where like he was malnourished and his bones got weak, and that's actually what happened. And I'm like, well, yeah, I would that kind of sucks. And I'm like, and I would totally be like, no, it's because I animate too much, you know. Like, you wouldn't want to be like, nah, I was malnourished. It's like, nah, it's not as cool. Just be like, this is how much I animate. Do you see this back? I'm a badass. But seriously, check out his work on Shere Khan and just realize that he had to hand animate and track every single stripe on Shere Khan. And like, I don't even know how he did that. It's crazy. Let's see. Books are rectangles. Never forget, that's actually a master pro tip. Never forget, books are rectangles. Alright, I'm gonna move on. I've practiced some hands. I drew a Scotty. I grabbed my plane ticket instead of a fresh sheet of paper. I am not excited at all. I'm just like, alright, I'm just gonna leave the live stream and go to Burbank right now. Just leave the camera on. It's like on for like 4 days. Just people going back and forth in my house. Yeah, I don't know why, but I was going to sleep last night, and I kept thinking, I think it's because I was talking to my sister for so long, and we, of course, inevitably ended up talking about Patrick and Brendan, because I'm Fallout Boy, and she's Panic, and I, like, the thing that, like, I like Patrick better, but at the same time, Brendan Urie kind of has almost the same voice, except, like, I feel like Brendan's is kind of a bit more like, I'm amazing, I'm Brendan Urie, and like Patrick's like, I'm Patrick, and like he's adorable and squishy. And so like of course we ended up talking about Brendan Urie versus Patrick. And so I'm going to bed and all I can think about is like Rubariot. For some reason I had this, I don't even know if I can pull it off, but I had this dumb image in my head of like his hair just going crazy. And I think it was just because I was tired. But it kind of looked cool, so like maybe I can draw it. And then, like, I'll have something to put on the star amino, be like, yeah, I drew one star-related thing. I said I wasn't going to, but, you know, like, that's, I didn't actually, I didn't, post today on the star amino that, like, I posted yesterday that I was doing a live stream, but I'm like, I'm probably not gonna do star stuff, so I don't want you all to be, because they get so mad when you do unrelated stuff. When you're like, oh, I'm doing a live stream, and they're like, is it star related? Like, I don't know. And like, that's the thing, I don't know. I had no idea today. I'm like, I'm just gonna go straight into drawing and see what happens. It's kind of probably too straight on a view, but you know, I'm just, you know what am I doing? Don't go for the final first, just freaking play on the paper. That's really hard to get kind of ingrained. It's just playing on the paper. Like, you want to go, you're like, well, like for me, I'm sitting there like I'm in a live stream, you're all watching, I need to just go straight to the final, but really that's not the best way to go. Like, it feels so contradictory, but like the best drawings are the ones where you're not working at it, you're just having fun, and then like, you know, you get like smooth relaxed lines and nice forms and stuff, because like you're not worrying about that stuff. You're just like, hey, I have this image of some dingus from a cartoon show with amazing hair. Like, that's it. I'm drawing Rubariot right now, Boston, because I just saw that pop up. I know there's a weird delay when I respond to you guys, but I was just talking about how, because I don't know how much you caught, but it's really hard for me to, like, the best drawings are the ones where you're, like, you're having fun with it and you're not even, like, you're just like, I'm just gonna, you know, like, whatever on the paper and I don't even care what it looks like. That's literally been what I've done every time, like, I've drawn something that everyone's like, oh, it's so good. It's like, but then there's been times where I'm like, I'm gonna really do this. Like, I'm gonna show them what I made, like, what I'm made of. This is gonna be the best drawing ever. And it's like that people are like, oh, I guess it's okay. And I'm like, why did you guys like that one? But I don't know what it is. I almost feel like when you draw, like, whatever, like if you're just having fun with it, people, like, pick up on the fun that you were having with the drawing. But if you aren't having fun with it, people kind of pick up that you're like, oh, you were, like, really trying hard, weren't you? And it's like, oh, no, how did you know? Like, I didn't tell anyone. Like, it's just drawing. How did you know? But yeah. Oh, wow. What the hell? It's okay. It's a rough drawing. Alright, now let's see what you sent me today, Boston. Locking my phone. Right in the middle of my live stream. 'Cause I don't care. I don't have anything. Oh, wait, there it goes. Slow as hell. Okay. That's pretty good, actually. Your female anatomy is getting better than mine ever was. Oh, God. Actually, I should pull that up. You know what? For old time's sake. I have to show you guys the extent of my girl anatomy back in high school. Danzig will remember. I remember just, like, basically, I'm like, well, maybe if I just draw, like, a guy anatomy. Well, why is there boobs then? Jeez, Boston, what do you want me to do? If those were supposed to be pecs, then I'm sorry, that was a really bad job. I'm sorry, I don't. But no, those look like. No, sorry, Boston. Like, if that wasn't meant to be a girl, then C minus. Like, you're still pass, but, like, oh God, I'm on. Danzig, did you follow me did you always follow me on Chibi Bat, or did you follow me? You followed me on Lockers, the squirrel, right? I'm surprised you just. Well, I mean, we were the same, like, dweeby age at that point, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered, but. Well, like, I mean, the thing is, masculine faces versus girl faces, like, it's kind of like, it all depends, like, on what you're going for. Like, there's not really, like, certain eyes that are just girl eyes and just certain noses that are just girl noses or things like that. Honestly, like, all of that is just, you know, like, literally everybody's face is just a freaking face. I gotta be honest, I've drawn so many figure drawings, I'm just like, humans are just lumpy and kind of gross. But, okay. Oh, I found a picture of, oh, I drew this at Dunkin' Donuts! That's right, Danzig. There you go. Pull that over for a minute. Wow, I drew that in, they had a fucking oil pen that we had to write on the coffee cups with. And if I drew this at work, I know what happened that day, even if I don't know exactly what happened. Like, I drew at work. The only times I ever drew at work, because that place was run by crazy Nazi bitches, was like I was literally like, that must have been a day where I'm like, I'm ready to die. And so, like, I would draw, and then I'd be like, okay, I'll live a little longer, I guess. It was like, that's all I did. I was like, I want to die, everything's shit, and then draw something. Okay, there's the reason to live. I have this. I got this. Okay, I can't find it right now. Well, oh yeah, there's a search bar, that'll help. Oh yeah, like, dude, like, and that was the thing too. I was like, I always loved drawing other people's characters, just because it's like, I wasn't that good at drawing yet, so, like, I always, like, loved drawing other people's characters because they got, like, hyped to, like, they got totally hyped to just like be like, "Oh my god, you drew amazing!" And I was like, "I'm ready." Oh, I found a really cool picture of Twill. This isn't the one I was looking for. Yes, you're relevant enough. Of course you're relevant for fan. I totally like. I was like, Danzig is cool. Like, um, you, and then there was a guy named Nova Fox. I totally like love Nova Fox. But here's a cool Twill picture I did. God, I think I did this. This one I was still at the animation studio, so I think it was like 2014. Looks like. Yes. Oh, and this is the guy who loves ponies. He doesn't love ponies, but I always tell him about ponies and drive him crazy, so I always say he loves ponies. I have a lot of weird online friends, I'm starting to realize. Like, I didn't realize exactly, but, like, I was talking to, I talk to people and I'm like, oh, and then this friend online, and that friend online, and then they're like, how many online friends do you have? And I'm like, a lot. But I have like real life friends too. It's kind of weird. Like I'm like I have to find people to talk to. I'm like, what's up? Let's talk about art. And I still can't find that damn picture. And I know it's up here. Where are you? There you are. Haha. So yeah, this is gonna be my beautiful, like. I was, like, afraid to draw boobs. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know. Oops. I full screened it. This is my ghetto live stream. Get used to it. Alright, but, yeah. This is, like, the extent of my female anatomy. And, like, I was afraid to draw boobs. And, like, I didn't know what I didn't understand how hips worked. Like, I just wasn't, like, gay enough. Like, I don't know. But, yeah, I that was the best I could do. And it was, like, not really good at all. That was I was 17, I think. Like oh god, I just like, and that's the thing too, like Twill was like a character that I did not want. Like I didn't want. That's the sentence right there. I'm like, oh god, what are you? You're like this weird magic anime girl. What are you, like, you're not cool, leave. And I'm like, I don't like drawing girls. And it's like, but I still, like, I couldn't get rid of her because every time I like tried to write the story without her, it was like shit. And she actually is a really cool character. It's just she's not like, I don't feel like she's like that instant cool character where you're like, oh yes, she seems like an interesting person. Like she's kind of like, honestly, she's kind of a dick. But, like, she never means to be. She just, like, kind of, like, doesn't realize she is being a dick, I guess. But, yeah, I didn't know how to draw girls at all. And, like, at that point, too, I was, like, I was still, like, if I didn't know how to draw it, I avoided it. So I just basically, well, I remember, like, being, like, it was hard, too, because all my friends drew girls really well, but I was the only one who drew guys really well. So I just, basically, I was, like, I stuck with what I was good at first, just to be like, ha, yes, look at how great I am. Meanwhile, like, all my friends are drawing, like, these beautiful, like, just, well, Holly had a sketchbook, and I'll never forget this. She had 2 sketchbooks. One was just regular sketchbook, and the second one had a big giant X on the front, and it could be like a white X or like a black X, because she went through sketchbooks. And she looked at my art teacher and she held up the regular one and said, you can look at this one. And then she held up the one with the X and went, never look at this one. And in her X sketchbook was just these amazing, beautiful, sexy women, and I was just like, fuck, I want to be able to draw sexy ladies. But all I could draw was dudes, so but like that, I just rode with that. I was like, I can draw guys, and girls are like, oh, I wish I could draw guys, and I'm like, ha, I bet you could, and I'm like, I wish I could draw girls. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, I mean, that was, I wanted to be able to draw sexy women in high school. Like, that's all I wanted to be able to do. I wanted to, mostly to, like, come to think of it, like, the whole reason I think I draw is actually just to, like, get people's reactions. Yeah, we can all agree everyone in this chat right now loves women, boobs, and hips, and everything. But yeah, like, oh god, I remember I just wanted to be able to draw them, but, like, I couldn't, like, I don't know, like, I think it was just, like, stupid stubbornness, to be honest. I just couldn't do it, though. And I was, like, and I was always bummed about it, and I didn't want to, like, admit that I was, like, I suck at this. I honestly, I like it when I can pull off a successful butt. Like, when I draw a really nice butt, it's like, yes! I feel like I've just, like, won the lottery. I'm like, mwahaha, yes! I drew a girl butt. The best, because I've been practicing my girl anatomy a lot, so, a lot lately. So I was drawing, it was the other day, actually, and this was the funniest shit. I'm drawing, and Andrew, who is one of the children who lives in the house with me, he likes to call me gay and like, basically make fun of me all the time, but mostly it's like, it's pretty much just a stupid joke. Like, he's just like, hey Tori, you're gay, and I'm like, thanks, I forgot. And you know, like, we just go back and forth. Yeah, you know, well, DZ, it all matters if someone's, like, watching you when you're drawing. Like, if someone's watching you while you draw, it's like, then you can come off as a creep. But anyways, so I'm sitting there drawing, and he's walking by, and he's like, he was saying one of those things where he's all like, it was the funniest thing. He's all like, you're a gay and you need to stop. And then he walks by, and I was, like, drawing this, like, really sexy anime chick, and he's all like, and I'm gonna need to take this, and he just ran away with it, and I'm like, I think I got the anatomy right. I wasn't even mad. I was just like, you know, when someone steals your sexy anime girl drawing, like, you know you did a good job. So, like, I wasn't even mad. I was just like, yeah, and then I ran after him and got it back. But, you know, I'm like, I'm not done yet, give it back! There's nothing better than being able to draw hot chicks. It's awesome. And one day I'll be able to just do it. Like, that's the thing too, like, I can draw pretty good chicks right now, but, like, I need to, like, focus and, like, work at it, and, like, I just want to be able to, like, I just want to be like as flawlessly as I draw beautiful men, because I will never not love drawing beautiful men either, because you shouldn't underestimate that either. I mean, it's really fun. You know, in general, drawing hot people is fun. I think that's the conclusion to this whole discussion. And by conclusion, I mean it'll never end. But what am I doing with his hair? I don't even care. Oh well, like, when I found out they got Patrick for the song day thing, like, I was so pumped. Like, I was like, they got Patrick Stump, because, like, first of all, it confirmed that Patrick Stump loved cartoons, because I've always wondered that, because when I was in middle school, I wanted him to do the voice of Scotty. I don't know if I would still agree with that, but I just love Patrick's voice so much that I'm like, I just want him to be one of my characters. And that was, like, pretty much the entire driving force behind Patrick will be Scotty. I didn't even know Patrick's name at the time, too, either, though. It's just like, the singer from Fall Out Boy, he's definitely gonna be Scotty. That's gonna be him. That was my plan. I was ready. He's got weird hair. Well, not Patrick, but Brubariat. He's got weird hair. No, but I basically got through high school just being, like, the only girl who could draw. That was the weird thing. All my art friends were girls, and all they could draw was girls. And, I mean, like, I don't know, like, I was the only one who could draw guys. I'm like, am I the only one looking at guys all the time? Like, remember that, like, that was really confusing, honestly. I'm glad it's all over, because, like, I also like girls, but, like, that was the thing, like, I remember just being, like, very confused about that, because I'm like, wait, I really like guys. How do I like girls? This is confusing. I'm like, oh, I just like both. Oh, you can do that? Oh, cool. I was like, wahaha. Now I no longer have to choose. But, yeah. Why is he looking, like, all sad? He's all like, I'm Rubery, and I'm all, I gotta give him big sad eyes. Oh no. And like little tears, and he's a little sad Rubery. No. Don't cry. Okay, I'm alright. I do kind of miss that whole art class vibe we used to have. I used to have a, like, this guy was pretty much, like, exclusively my art class buddy, because it was, like, but, like, we also had, like, English class, so he was, like, art and English buddy, and his name was Eddie, and I still follow him on Instagram, and we, like, talk a little bit here and there, but, like, man, like, that was the most fun shit, just going into art class, and then, like, Eddie was like, yeah, I like art, but I don't really want to, like, do it professionally. But, like, he still took it serious enough. It was awesome. And, like, I remember we just freaking have a ball just messing around. And then there was also, I mean, Holly, of course. What I loved about senior year was first thing I got into school was, art class, and the art class I had, since I had taken the 3 previous years of art classes, was called, like, independent art study, which basically was, I got graded for doing this. Like, I basically just drew whatever the hell I wanted, whenever the hell I wanted. As long as I was drawing and handing in work, I got a grade. And, like, we had to have, like, a direction, so it's just like, I'm making a comic book, boom, and I got graded for it. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, Outlook was, like, pretty much an assignment, so, like, I'm like, shit, I would do this even if you weren't grading me, you know? Oh, sad Rubery. It's making me sad. But anyways, like, it was just, like, the best art class ever. Just, like, because, like, first thing in the morning, I could just sit down and start drawing. And then, of course, then again, I had, like, 5 study halls. So pretty much senior year, I was a lazy fuck, honestly. I had my laptop, and I remember watching movies, and yeah. that was an alright year. It was the calm before the shit storm. But, you know, it was, I have fond memories hanging out with, oh, Eddie was in all my study halls, too. Come to think of it, Eddie was just, like, my senior year, bro. We were just like, let's get the fuck out of this joint. Let's go. We're done. Let's blow this popsicle stand. Man. I don't know. Have I ever on this live stream told the story of the boats? I don't know if I've ever told that story. But maybe I should tell it again. I really love this story. But first I need my Coca-Cola. That's right, I need it. Because that's what happens when you're an addict and you don't know how to quit. That's why I'm so good at cartoons also. It's also why I, see, that's actually, like, it's a good thing with my personality, but it's bad. I have an addictive personality, and I don't quit. Which is why I will never start smoking, because I will be fucked to the end of the earth, because, like, I just won't stop. And it's like, but it's a good thing, because with cartoons, I'm addicted to cartoons, and I literally can't quit. So it makes me an amazing artist, but I'm never gonna start smoking, and luckily I don't, like, I drink, but, like, I don't like it, like, a lot. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm like, alright. Like, every once in a while, but I like Coca-Cola a lot better. So, anyways, the story of the boats. It's senior year, this is Connecticut, and in around April, there's just endless rain. There's literally every year of my life there, I remember in like April, May time, there would always be like literal weeks of endless rain. Like Sunday, Saturday, and sometimes like it'd be like a week and a half. Senior year, I think there was like 2 weeks of full rain, and there was a courtyard in the middle of the school, and it flooded. And it was like a good amount of water. It was like this, you know, like, so you couldn't walk through it. And the thing was, the courtyard was, it wasn't like a leisurely place where we hung out. It was just a very convenient shortcut between one half of the school and the other half of the school, and I relied on it heavily. Me and Eddie both, actually, were like, we need that courtyard to get from A to B, because literally trying to take an alternate route to get to, like, from the art room, which was like over that way, to English, which was over that way, it was like we needed that freaking courtyard, and it was flooded. And, you know, at first we were just like, oh, this sucks, it'll be a few days. But it was like they weren't doing anything about it. The administration just basically like caution taped it off and was like, meh, and like, we'll deal with it later, we don't care. And the annoying thing too is the only reason it flooded was because they got rid of all the foliage in there and they replaced it with like 100,000 pounds of rocks, no lie. So like it went from this beautiful green courtyard to like just fucking gray rocks to make you want to kill yourself. And so me and Eddie are just sitting there in art class, and the art class was right next to the courtyard, so we're just like looking out the window, just like, you know, and we're like, God damn it. And I look at him and I'm like, I have an idea, right? And so this was a 2-day event, but most people like don't realize it because, you know, it wasn't a big deal. We made paper boats first. And like, so we got like some thick art paper and we like folded it, and we like just wanted to float like 2 boats in the water. So like we like kind of like, we're going to the bathroom, you know, like not at the same time, obviously. My teacher would have been like, yeah, they wouldn't have been like, yeah, that's cool. Yes, teenage girl and teenage boy, you go to the bathroom at the same time in the middle of class. I'm sure you're not up to any shenanigans. So, like, you know, we're basically just like, you know, like, sneak out cleverly. And we, like, went to float the boats, but the paper boats kind of, like, they floated for, like, a minute, but then they just went, and it was really sad. So, like, we're sitting there, and I'm like, and, like, I had a pretty good paying job, even though it sucked. And I was like, okay, I have an idea. I'm like, tomorrow, I'm gonna bring, like, as many little toy boats as I possibly can, and we're gonna just float them all in the water. And that was, like, our big middle finger fuck you to the administration. We're like, this is what we're doing today. So, I went to the dollar store, and it was just my fucking lucky day because they had about like 30 plastic boats, and they were like all in like sets of 5, and they were like all like $1. So I just bought every fucking boat I could get. And like I shoved them all in my backpack. It was crazy. Like I just had a backpack full of toy boats. And then the next day we're like, let's do this. And we're sitting there, and I open up my backpack, and Eddie's like, oh my fucking god. I'm like, yes, we're doing this. And so, like, we realized, like, we couldn't do the same thing we did yesterday, because then my art teacher would be like, you guys are doing this every day, like, what are you doing? I'm not gonna let you guys do this, you know? So we were just gonna try and, like, escape. Which, like, me and him both loved art class, so, like, we knew, like, our art teacher would be like, you know, like, even if we got caught, like, our teacher would be like, why are you trying to escape the class you like? Be like, because we have to, you know? And so, like, we're sneaking out, and we're almost out the door, and then she sees us, and she's all like, where are you going? And I'm all like, if anyone asks, you have no idea where we went. You know, like, we disappeared. And she's like, and, like, to my surprise, she was just like, okay. And so we walked out the door, and we walked over to the courtyard. Oh, and this is the other thing. We were brilliant. We planned this all the way through. Because we're like, we have to take our shoes off. That was the other thing that kind of gave us away. We're, like, taking our shoes off in class because... And the only reason we did that was because we would get caught like that if we had had wet shoes. It would have been, like, obvious who was the one out there because the water was so deep. There was no way we could have like kept our shoes dry. So we like took our shoes off and we like rolled up our pants. And so we like walk out there and I got like all of these boats and me and him just like, we just start like putting them in the water like as fast as we can. But then like this guy who was like a coach on the football team or whatever, he comes out and he's like, and I don't know what it is like, cause like I wasn't really exactly like the most like confident person ever, like especially back then, but like I don't know, like I think I went into shock and my brain just overrid all the anxiety and was just like in like game mode, because like he comes out and he's like, what are you two doing, like you're gonna be in so much trouble, and I just went, we're floating boats, and then he just like sank his head down and just like turned around and like walked away, like he didn't even say anything to us. And, like, I'm surprised he didn't turn us in. Like, I guess he didn't know our names. Like, I can't figure out why, to this day, he did not turn us in. But we got, like, about 30, you know, boats, maybe, like, 30, 50 toy boats. And they are, like, rainbow bright plastic little toy boats. And they're, like, all about this big. And they were so cute. And they're just floating everywhere. And this was our big, fuck you, administration. We want our courtyard back. And we get back into art classroom, and I brought a towel because I thought ahead. And I'm like, me and him are like drying off our legs. We put our shoes back on, and we just go back to drawing like nothing even happened. The whole art classroom is like looking out the window, like, huh, that's cool. By the end of the day, everyone was talking about it, and the administration was furious. I don't know why, because like I'm like, wow, you're a pretty sad human being. You're getting mad about little plastic boats. Like, you know, like, but, like, they were so pissed because they were, like, I don't know why. Like, they were just, like, they were, like, looking for the two boat people, you know, or, like, just the boat person. They probably thought it was just, like, one person. And so they were, like, looking everywhere. And me and Eddie are just fucking laughing the whole time because, like, everyone's going, well, you know, they need to, like, you know, drain that courtyard. They're just, like, taking their time with it. And, like, it was just, like, it was just a stupid thing that ended up, like, actually getting shit done. Because they did drain the courtyard really shortly after that. They were just like, all right. And, like, they got their shit together. But we were in English class, I remember. And that English class was the last thing of the day. So we're just sitting there like, we are the boat floaters. And, like, which is, like, the lamest, like, rebel thing ever. But that's, like, me. So we're sitting there and we're just like, like, sitting in the back of the class. And my English teacher brings it up and was all like, I don't know who floated those, like put all those little boats out there, but, like, I'm really glad they did, because now the administration's actually, like, getting up and doing something. And it's like, it's really good that someone actually did something. And then me and him kind of, like, looked at each other. We're like, we gotta tell her. You know, like, she has to know for the rest of her life, because, like, she's a teacher, so she's gonna be the one who passes on all the stupid, like, senior prank stories. So it's, like, the end of class, and me and him were like, okay, we're gonna tell her. So we get up, and, like, everyone's left, and we walk up to her, and she's all like, and, like, that's the thing, like, we walk up at the same time, so it's like, and she's like, okay, what's going on? And, and we just looked at her and we're like, we're the ones who floated the boats. And she's like, no. She's like, don't tell me that, because if you tell me that, like, I'm gonna, like, she's like, they're looking for you right now. She's like, don't tell anyone that, okay? She's like, just don't do it. And, like, she never turned us in or anything either, so we got away with it. But yeah, me and Eddie were the ones who did the toy boat thing, and we did make the difference, and we got our freaking shortcut back, so we didn't have to, like, run 10, because, like, we actually were, like, having to run from class to class, because without that freaking courtyard shortcut, it was a nightmare. And so we made the difference. It was beautiful. That was my big rebellious school thing that I did. My favorite one, though, was now this was back in the 70s, so obviously I wasn't there. But we had this one teacher who was, like, ancient. Like, I mean, like, she'd been there so long. I remember telling my mom, I'm like, oh yeah, I have this math teacher, and she's like, I had that freaking math teacher. And I'm like, And that was the thing, my mom was just like, she was old when I had her, and I'm like, oh shit, like, so like this ancient teacher that even my mom had like gone to the same school and like had that teacher was there. And there was apparently in the 70s when the school was like just two long hallways, like there was a door on each end, something like this. I'm off camera, there we go. You know, there was these kids who got the bright idea. One of them had a motorcycle, and they got basically in the middle of class when everybody was just sitting in class, they had one friend open one door, they had the other friend open the other door, and then the guy with the motorcycle just zoomed down the hall. And I'm like, god damn, what I would have done to see that. That would have been fucking awesome. But yeah, unfortunately that one happened before like I existed, so. And I remember asking, I actually, like, that was like the one, like, I didn't talk to my mom very much, but I was like, do you remember that? And she's like, no. And I'm like, damn, because that's like the coolest story ever. Uh-oh. Someone coming down the stairs? Nah. Or are they coming down this? Yes, they are. Hello, stranger. Okay, I'm live streaming. Now's the time to say all the embarrassing things. No. It's like my worst fear. Someone comes down while I'm live streaming and it just like says like, I don't even know. It'd just be something horrifying. Then I just have to explain to them, yeah, the whole internet just heard you. Oh, shoot. But yeah. I love that story, though. Like, it was so much fun. Art room for life. I still remember the art room number. It's 144. And, like, it's like the only reason I know the number is just because how many hall passes I got to go to art class was just insane. I still keep finding them, and like I use them as bookmarks, and I keep finding them in old books. It's pretty funny. I still love that the administration got pissed off about toy boats. Like, I just have this beautiful image of just old cranky men just being like, what is this toy boat? Don't they know? I don't even know what's going on here. Alright. And back to drawing. Like, I just love how, like, if you talk to me long enough, that's basically how conversations go. I just go from, like, one thing to another thing to, like, and it's like, it all doesn't seem related, but it's all connected. It's like, it's holistic. So let me see. Basically, the number one reason you should ever want to learn to draw is because you have like these really cool pictures in your head, which like they're really cool to you, but you can't just be like, hey, look in my mind, it's really cool. So you have to learn how to draw to show people the cool shit in your head. So that's pretty much what my drawings are, in case anyone's wondering. So, I've been talking a lot, so my voice is starting to go meh, but you know. That's the technical term, meh. But, the show I really want to go see in California is, Distillers, because I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's just like a reunion tour, or like, or what they're doing, but I'm really excited because I've never gotten to see them live, and I basically listened to them by proxy through my sister, like, because that was like my sister's favorite band, but like I've listened to whatever she listened to, so like I love that music. Or at least at the time. I remember the band that actually divided me and my sister musically, like the first time I was like, I like this band, and she's like, they're okay, was actually weirdly enough Gorillaz. And it's like she likes Gorillaz, but it's like I was obsessed. And so like I remember that though, like, because pretty much up to that point it was just like whatever CDs my sister had, that was pretty much what I listened to. And then I was like, yep, I like this band. And I mean, like, Feel Good Inc., I still count that as my favorite Gorillaz song, just because, like, that was actually, I think, like, I always kind of count, like, several things why I ended up liking animation so much. And the Feel Good Inc. music video was definitely, like, one of those things. Like, I'd never seen anything like that before in my life. And it was just, like, oh, really, Boston? You too? Oh, God. But, yeah, like, it blew my mind. Like, I didn't even know what I was looking at. I'm like, this is, like, because, like, up to that point, like, all I'd seen was, like, you know, I'd seen music videos, but it was always just, like, you know, like, early 2000s, so it was all just, like, that, like, you know, emo-y stuff where they're just, like, brooding in front of the camera and, like, and they're doing stupid shit like this, and it's, like, and it was kind of cool, but then it was, like, I'm like, wait, you can make an animated music video? Oh my god. And then I'm like, that is the coolest thing, because like, I listen to music and, like, I daydream, and so I was like, that's, like, I'm like, this is, like, literally what happens in my head, and, like, this is, I'm like, you can, like, draw it out and it can happen, and that's really fucking cool. And I'm like, I need to figure out how to do this. And so there was the Feel Good Inc. video. Another stupid thing, for whatever reason, was Monsters Inc. It was the first DVD I ever owned. Like, we'd always had VHS, and DVD was just, like, new. And it was, like, the first DVD I ever had was Monsters Inc. And there was a bonus feature, which was, like, revolutionary at the time. It was like, what's a bonus feature? Oh my god, they tell you, like, extra stuff about the movie? Cool. It was radical. Clint Eastwood got me too, but for another, I'll get back, you know, I'll geek out about Gorillaz in a minute. But on the Monsters Inc. DVD, there was a behind the scenes thing where they were at Pixar, and uh-oh, is my stream dying? Hold on, it looks like it's dying. I don't know if it's dying. It might be dying. I think the stream is dying. On my end, it looks dead. Y'all let me know when I come back. Okay. Is it playing or what? I can't even tell. Damn you, YouTube. It's fine? Okay, cool. It looks like it's seriously on its last legs over here. So, anyway, so there's that bonus feature on the DVD, and they were at Pixar, and at the time I was 12, and my whole life was my really shitty kick scooter, like, you know, like the Razor scooters. I loved that thing. Like, it was literally, not even kidding, it was a piece of junk. Like, my dad found it, like, on the side of the road and, like, fixed it and was like, here's your scooter. And I'm like, and then I remember just like I don't know, like, I fell in love with it. Like, I didn't even care. I was like, I love this thing. And so they were in the bonus feature, they were riding their scooters through Pixar, and they're like, this is a day in the life of an animator. And I'm like, you get to ride your scooter through the hallways? I was like dying. I'm like, please, I want this more than anything. And then, like, they went on to be like, oh, and you make cartoons all day. And I'm like, go on. And I was just I'm sitting there going like, I didn't think, getting a job could be cool. So, so I was like, I think this is what I want to do. And like, at the time too, like CGI was still being new. So I remember like just being blown away by like how like really rendered everything could be. I was really excited about all of that. So originally I really wanted to be a CG animator. I didn't really want to I didn't have much interest in 2D art. The freaking irony now. But it's funny because like I started out wanting to do CGI animation, and do nothing but digital art. Like I wanted everything I did to be digital, and now I'm like, I want to still keep as much on paper as possible, and I kind of like I still love digital things, but like I I don't like pure drawing like on a digital tablet. Like it's just not the same to me. Like I love the graininess of the pencil, and there's not a single brush tool I have ever found that is anything like holding a Blackwing or like even a number 2 pencil. Like I love those crappy number 2s. So there was Feel Good Inc. and then there was the Monsters Inc. DVD, and they were just like, I was just like blown away. I'm like, that's what I want to do. And the other thing was Billy and Mandy was just like, that's like what I lived for every. Because back in the day, before Disney fucked it all over, it used to have new cartoons on Friday nights. Every Friday night was new cartoons. And so, like, every Friday night, I had to beg and plead with my mother to have the television. I remember I like had like a freaking like itinerary list because there was like we had DirecTV, and so like they had like Nickelodeon, and then they had like Nick 2, and then they had like Cartoon Network, and then like it was like a Cartoon Network 2, but basically it was just like the air times were different. And so like I would be like, yeah, can I watch Danny Phantom at 7? And she'd be like, oh, well, there's this movie I want to watch at 7. I'm like, oh, all right, that's fine. They're gonna be replaying the new episode at 9 p.m. Is that okay for you? Like I remember having like little sheets of paper with it all written down, and like just like because like my mom is the overlord of the TV. Like you don't take her TV from her. And so it was like I was like, I need to watch these cartoons. And I actually remember in particular one time there was like a Danny Phantom episode where like both of the times it was airing, I was like, my mom was like, no. And then the other thing was I was going to be like I think I was at work. Hell, I can't even remember, but like literally there was going to be no way I was going to be able to catch it. I bought a blank VHS tape and I brought it to my friend Sam, and I'm like, please, you have to record the episode for me, because if I'm like, with my luck, it's the episode where Danny and Sam get together and I'm going to miss it. And she's like, I got you. And I still have the fucking VHS tape because I was like, I'm not missing this episode. And it was just I think, God, I can't remember why I missed the episode, but it was really funny. But Billy and Mandy was like every Friday. That was like what I lived for, because it's just like the thing was too, like it was just it's but I think but like someone recently, like I watched a review of it, like a retrospective review, and they're like, and it still holds up well today, and I'm like, no, some episodes do, but like not the entire series as a whole. It's kind of dated in the early 2000s, but like at the time it was like it like, to me, I kind of felt like it was like the show that was getting away with like everything, because they were like you know, they had, first of all, they had the Grim Reaper as a main character. Second of all, you know, it was just like they had Mandy, who was just this like really angry girl who was just like hated everything, and it was such a like, everything else was like SpongeBob was still like brand new, really big at the time, and it was all like, you know, SpongeBob was all like friendship and blah blah blah, and Billy and Mandy is like, shut up, you fucking idiot, and like and like people were getting punched and shit, and it was like, I love this show. And I'm like, how are they getting away with this? Like, and I was also like really like, I love and will always love just like, you know, that kind of I'm not gonna say like dark humor, but like that pop punky kind of dark humor, you know, where it's like, you know, they aren't really going too far, but they're going far enough out of the status quo where it's like, you know, like they can be sold at Hot Topic, you know, that kind of that kind of level. Um and like that was the thing, like it made me like laugh so much. It was like everything to me, and it was like on a weekly basis I had these new cartoons. And I remember like I started paying attention to like names, so like Maxwell Adams, which by the way isn't his real name. I was kind of really upset to find that out, but Maxwell Adams is not his real name. His real name is Adam Burton, but he'll always be Maxwell to me. Um, but like, and then I remember at the end of every Pixar film they say made in Emeryville, California, and then I started seeing things at the end of the TV shows like made in Burbank, and that's kind of when I found out about Burbank, and that's when like I was like I fell in love. I'm like, there is a city in California where they make cartoons. I'm like, oh my god. And I did get to go to Burbank in high school. And like, what had happened was like there was well, I won't tell you the depressing part. There was like a depressing part with my sister, and basically what ended up happening though was my mom was like, we're gonna go on a vacation to San Diego. Now I didn't know shit about California, but here's a fun fact. Okay, see you later, Boston. But fun fact about California. Um, San Diego is a little ways off by from LA, especially Burbank. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive, I think. But we ended up going to San Diego, and I'm like, we are so close to Burbank. I can smell the cartoons. I need to go there. So, what I ended up doing was like somehow by some sheer stupid luck, I managed to convince my family to be like, let's go to Burbank. And we went to Burbank, and it was the worst drive I can remember of my life, because it's like I'm just stuck in the car with my family, and they're like, and I'm literally just like, I just want to see the building. Like I knew you probably couldn't like get in the building, but I'm like, I need to see this building where they make cartoons. And like, so we're in this 2 hour cramped car ride, and the traffic is terrible, and my parents are all like, rah, 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 but we get there, and I remember it like, what kills me now is I know more about Burbank, and we only went to the Cartoon Network building because Billy and Mandy obsessed, and but I didn't know how close Nickelodeon and like Disney were. So like I didn't even like bother to go see those ones. I thought I thought each one was like gonna be like really spaced out and everything, but like actually they're like literally like Cartoon Network is like here, and then like Nickelodeon's 15-20 minutes away, and then Disney is like 15-20 minutes away from Nickelodeon. Not even, I think. It's like I think it's more like 5. They're like right next to each other, but I only went to Cartoon Network. And like it was just like where I come from, like people don't even like know animation is a thing that people do. They just think it magically appears by fairies or something. I don't know. But like I got to see that Cartoon Network building, and that changed everything, because it was like I actually saw the building in front of me, and I realized like this is real. Like cartoons are real, you know, like people come here every day to make animation, and this isn't just something where like, you know, I'm from the East Coast and like animation doesn't exist as a job. Like it's out here in California. And like I remember like I was just totally in love with Burbank after that, because I'm like, this is where I need to go now. And like I still wanted to go to Emeryville to work at Pixar, but like I was like, Burbank would be good too, you know. It was basically like I'm totally down. So like I remember it's really silly, but I actually wrote a song about Burbank in high school, and I didn't play an instrument in high school, which is really funny. So basically, I just was like, I wrote the lyrics, and I basically like, and I like hummed along to try and figure out how I wanted to write it. But I finally figured out, like, I play ukulele now, so like I figured out the chords I was going for, and so I actually can play it on my ukulele now, and it's basically just like, get me the hell out of this shitty town and take me to Burbank because they make cartoons there. That's the whole gist of the song. But yeah, that's like pretty much where I started, and now I'm here, so just gonna keep going. But we were talking about gorillas. Feel Good Inc. was definitely like big one. Something about those big giant plate eyes of 2Ds just staring back at you. I don't know, but like the thing was I think I saw Clint Eastwood first, but the thing is I saw all the Gorillaz music videos at once. It was on, it was like, I want to say MTV, which is an old-fashioned sentence. But they had like, I remember it was this like they would clump together music videos based on themes, and one of them was called Animation Domination, and they just had like an hour long of music videos that were animated specifically, and they played this a couple. I think I saw it like 3 times, and like this is back in the day before like people posted stuff on the internet because like video was still new. But never forget that the 90s were the best. Remember that. Like, you couldn't get shit, but the 90s were clearly better. Fuck no. But so I was watching these music videos, and like that's the thing. Basically, most of the hour was Gorillaz because like, there was an Offspring video with some like dogs. I remember like stop motion stuff. And then they had All That I Got by The Used just because of the animated segments in it. But then it was pretty much just Gorillaz. And this is before Dare came out too, because I remember the premiere of Dare. I'll never forget that day. But so I saw Clint Eastwood first, and I was just like, oh, this is like Homestar Runner, which was another one of my big loves. I love Homestar Runner, and I always will, even though that's terribly dated too. But I mean, Homestar Runner was like that was like before video on the internet, and they were just basically exploiting a loophole in Flash to make it work. They're like, well, we can't make a video, but we can make this Flash thingy, and it's like, so I knew what Flash kind of looked like, but like, and like the Gorillaz definitely had like a way more polished look with that, and like I was like, oh, this is really cool, and like that like blew my mind. But then they played Feel Good Inc. after that, which is like Clint Eastwood's got like all the flat shading, and it's just like very like like Flash constructed with like 2.5D rigging and shit, and Feel Good was like fully like they had all the texture and like everything in 2D like looked like way more realistic. I didn't know what I was talking about back then, but to me he felt more like realistic. And I was like, and then there's Noodle on the island. It was just like, this is amazing. Like, what is this? And I think I really wanted to get into Pixar, like I said. That was like the first thing, but I think like a secondary thing I definitely had in mind was I wanted to make the thing is too, like everyone says that music videos died like in the 90s and that like the early 2000s like those weren't music videos, but I didn't know. Honestly, like I felt like music videos were still amazing and brand new because I didn't realize that the 80s were spending like millions of dollars on music videos, and that by the time the 2000s rolled out they were like not nearly as much. Just need to take a breath. So like my secondary thing was like I want to make animated music videos. I thought that would be a really cool thing to do with life. Of course now I'm kind of sitting there going like, you know, that would never ever work. Yeah, no, absolutely, DZ. Like, I'm like every day that goes by, I hate '90s kids more. Like, the thing I love about '90s kids too is they don't even realize like how, like, well, first of all, they don't realize like how dumb they are, but like, they're so dumb that marketing is actually like picked up and figured out, and they're like, hey, we can get these idiot '90s kids to like buy '90s nostalgic shit, like, and so they're just like, we don't have to make new content, we just reprint it, and they give us their money, and so like that's kind of like, ugh. And the thing is, it's like nostalgia is such a dangerous thing. Like you really like, I'm like it's kind of weird, but my whole views on nostalgia started with my discovery of the word nostalgia through the, and it's like so dumb, but through the Nostalgia Critic, you know, like I didn't understand what nostalgia meant. And so at first when I like found out about the word nostalgia, I was thinking, oh, this is a good word, you know, because like nostalgia is good, right? You know, like reminiscing about what was good about the past. That's what I thought nostalgia really meant. But like really nostalgia isn't necessarily a positive or a negative thing, but like it's kind of like, you know, if you're in the present day sitting there thinking about how great yesterday was, then like maybe you should start living today, you know? Like maybe you should like, I mean, okay, there's always going to be those things you can't do, and you know, that sort of thing, like because of whatever reasons, but like, you know, like if you're sitting there going, you know, 10 years ago was better than now, then you know, well then you should probably get up off your ass and change it, you know, instead of sitting there going like, oh man, the '90s were the best. Because in the end, really, what it comes down to is most nostalgia is just, you know, people going, wah, I hate having to work a job. And like, I don't know, like I'm kind of a workaholic too, so I guess I don't really have a good place to stand here, um but like I've never understood that, because like I like even the crappiest job I've worked, I've always loved working simply because, you know, you make your own money and you make your own decisions, and you don't have to worry about anyone else screwing up anything, except the only person who can screw up your life is you, you know. It's like that kind of sound like a beautiful motivational speaker right now, but like in the end that's kind of like what it is. So like I've always loved working, and so like when '90s kids are just like, oh, I miss the '90s, like remember like just sitting around watching Nickelodeon, I'm like, yes, I remember that stuff, but I also remember really shitty things. I remember like not being able to control anything in my life, and how miserable it is not being able to do so, you know. So like but I will say like one thing about gorillas is that I've always had trouble with, and I think it's just particularly where I come from, like in Connecticut specifically, but like there were like no gorillas fans there, and also like I was like the only one who listened to gorillas except for like Jesus, because she was the coolest, um and like, but then like there were like a few people I ended up meeting who liked gorillas, and I don't know what it is, but most gorillas fans I ended up meeting were total jerks. So I remember always kind of like being like wary of people telling me like, oh, I'm a fan of the gorillas, because like I don't know, like in where I was from, like if they said that, usually it meant they were a music snob and they were kind of going to be a dick to you. And it was like, it was the most disappointing thing in the universe, because you're like, I just like this band and I think it's cool, and then you have to go and ruin it by being a dick. So like actually I dated this guy who was basically like a huge music Nazi, and like he loved gorillas, but he was such a music Nazi. Like I was listening to Kesha in my car, and this is my car, and I'm driving, and I love my girl Kesha, and he hates Kesha, and he like freaking like, and he doesn't remember this, but he grabbed the volume knob and like shut it off, and like, I'm like, you know what, like, I'm driving, this is my car, don't you ever shut my girl down again. You know the other thing that sucked about the 90s? I didn't have nearly as many cool stories as I do now. I think that's the other part I like about right now in my life is like I have so many cool stories that I never run out of things to talk about. I just run out of breath. And I'm still drawing Rubariot. Woo-hoo! Yeah, it was something like I was going to sleep, and so I just had this image in my head, and I don't know why, but like I think hair in my imagination just tends to go crazy like this. So like I'm trying to capture what I saw before I fell asleep, and of course I was tired, so I don't know if he was wearing a scarf or not. I think he was wearing the whole like crazy getup from the song Day. Yes, he was. Yeah, like honestly, like DZ, I don't know if this happens to you a lot, but because me and you are roughly about the same age, I believe. Like I'm 25. I think you're like, aren't you like, oh shit, like 26? I'm so bad with ages. I'm sorry. Like I'm the worst. But like most people I know that are like my age, they are like one of two people, and unfortunately most of them are the one I dislike the most, which is so like most people I meet at 25, they're like, my life is over, like everything's done, like everything I'm supposed to live for is over. I'm like I don't know, like I feel like right now I'm at the best point I've ever been in my life. And like I feel like everything's just starting. Like I don't feel like, I don't know what they're talking about. Like the other thing I hear is I'm a quarter of a century old, and I'm like okay, but like what does that matter? like I'm sitting there going like I feel fine. Like why do you feel like shit? Like I don't get that, cuz like I'm totally 100% like really excited about just everything in life, especially this week. This week has been an astounding week for me. I'm really happy about everything right now. So like I don't understand these people who are like our age who are I mean like that's the thing too, like cuz like 27's like it's pretty much we're really close. They just they act like life is over, and it's like it's just started. Like what is wrong with you? Like and these are the 90s kids too who are sitting there going like, man, everything was better when I was 12, and I'm sitting there like going like I couldn't draw like this when I was 12, you know, like this I love right now. I think it's a beautiful time to be alive. And I also there's I don't know if you've ever listened to this comedian, but I listen to a lot of comedians, and there's one Donald Glover, and on one of his he was talking about this same thing, and he was like just basically like people talking about how great the past was, and he's like literally the day you die, the day after you die, they will like find new cures for the diseases that like killed you. He's like, can you imagine like how it must have been back in the day, like before they had the polio vaccination, to get polio and then like not have like, well, I don't know if that was part of the joke, but I remember like that was something that I connected to it. So anyways, so that might not have been part of the original joke, but I remember sitting there going like literally like every day, even when shit feels like it's falling apart and like the world is going crazy, like everything's always getting better, because like if you go back in time, like you sit there and you'd be like, oh, like, you know, the 1940s was really cool, except, you know, like there was World War II, and then there's like freaking just like, oh, there was the prohibition shit, like in the, that was more like 20s, you know, but like, and then like before that, you know, there's just like in feudal Japan, a samurai could just cut a peasant's head off for no reason, and there would be no consequences whatsoever. You know, like there's all these things that are like from the past that are horrible, and it's like, and they're like, that's the time you want to live in? You want to go back to like when people were stupider? Because it's like, yay, heckaho! It's okay. It's better late than never. I didn't know what I was gonna do for this live stream today, so I wasn't gonna draw anything star related. But last night I had this image of Ruberia in my head before I went to bed because I was talking about Patrick Stump with my sister, and like, so now I ended up drawing something star related anyway. But yeah, so that's basically where I'm at. I'm drawing Ruberia from Song Day, and I'm also sharing basically old stories about shit that happened. What you missed was I talked about I talked a little bit about where I started with cartoons. I talked about my love for Burbank, California, because I'm actually going to be going to Burbank in April, and I'm really excited because I love going there. And they have cartoons and everything there, and there's a few things I've been wanting to check out there that I've never seen that I need to see, so I'm getting really excited. But yeah, like pretty much I had no plans for this live stream, and I was just gonna like draw whatever, and then I ended up drawing like, and that was the thing too. I was like, I'm probably not gonna draw anything star related, and then bam, I'm like, I'm gonna draw Ruberia. Oops. I just can't avoid it, you know. So yeah, if something like really yeah, and the whole reason I'm going to Burbank was actually because my sister wanted to drag me to a punk show, and I'm sitting there going like, I don't really want to spend money on this. Like, I don't want to, because like I don't make a lot of money, and I don't want to just go to LA because I don't like LA very much. I always end up going there. Like, it's a love-hate. I don't know how to explain it, because I hate Los Angeles, but they got cartoons, so it's like kind of hard to say no, you know. Like, it's you know, I think it's just a testament to how much I love cartoons. I'm like, well, LA's got cartoons, and I hate LA, but you know, you got cartoons, so here I come. And that was the thing. My sister was like, I want to go out to this punk show, and I'm going like, I don't know if I want to spend all that money on a punk show. And then I was like, but I have been really wanting to go to I haven't like, because honestly, like lately I've just been thinking a lot about Burbank, and I'm just like, so I'm like sitting there going like, let me see how much a plane ticket will cost. And I looked up the, oh, well, actually a friend of mine was like looking up the plane ticket, and she found a plane ticket for $115 to LA. So I'm like, and that's round trip, like both ways. So I'm like, I can't really say no to $115. Like, that is a really good price to go to LA. Like, that is excellent. And so that's the thing too. Like, I just bought the ticket, and I'm like, and we don't even know if we're gonna be able to get the tickets to the punk show. But I'm like, hey, we'll try and get to the punk show, and if we don't go to the punk show, we'll just go to Burbank. And so like, me and my sister, absolutely, no matter what, are possibly gonna be going to a punk show, but definitely going to Burbank. And she might even like rent a hotel in Burbank so we can like be in Burbank. I have not heard about the section of California trying to split away from the main state, but I would love to hear about it. And honestly, I would like to have a break, because I've been talking for an hour and 38 minutes. Oh. New California. Oh, God. Sorry, I have to take a break from talking, but I am interested in what this new why are they trying to split from the main state? Exactly, like, I mean, that just sounds like what I would do if I ended up living in California long enough. I'd be like, get me, if I can't leave, I'm gonna change this place. I seriously doubt they will break away from the main state. But, like, to me, it's kind of like, why are they even trying? Like, what's the big dealio? So, actually, guys, this is pretty accurate. This is what I saw right before I went to bed last night, was this beautiful image of Herbariot. I don't know why it just came to me, but I think it's because I was talking about Patrick Stump. So, and now I'm like, I had to draw it, so that's pretty much what I had to do. Well, you know, if you don't like crazy laws in California, you can do this crazy thing and you can move. Because California, if you can't handle crazy, you shouldn't go to LA. You shouldn't go to California. California is crazy. It's filled with crazy people. Every time I go there, like, I was like, I feel like I have to be like ready for battle, because it's like, you don't know what you're gonna get. Like, there's spreading HIV isn't considered a felony. Oh, that's kind of okay. Like, the problem is, like, I can see like both. Like, I can see like a couple issues with that. First of all, I mean, like, I guess the problem is, like, if you end up with HIV and, like, it just kind of sucked and it was a shitty part of your life, and then later on in life you're trying to have a regular relationship, and then you, like, end up accidentally giving your partner HIV, if it was considered a felony, then they could technically lock you up for that, and, you know, you just were trying to get your life back together. But then on the other hand, I can totally get why, like, people would want it to be considered a felony, because there would be those dick weasels out there who are just like, in this case, the term dick weasel is accurate, who would just be like, because, like, I've heard fucked up stories like that. So, like, I can kind of see why that's, like, a weird, like, hell if I know the answer. Like, I don't, but, like, you know, I'm just sitting there, kind of could see a lot of issues with that. Yeah, if you're purposely spreading it, well, then you're, like, well, God, you know, like, yeah, that's obviously messed up, but, I mean, that's the thing, though, like, yeah, I've heard of that before, where, like, there's just these weird freaking assholes who just are, like, trying to spread it around. I did hear an interesting story about this is a great sentence. I did hear an interesting story about HIV, though, but this was in, I believe it was Cuba. Pretty sure Cuba. Like, I get my geography mixed up, but I believe it's Cuba. And back in, like, the 80s, like, in Cuba, if you got HIV, they actually corralled you. Wait, who's giving you free food? But in back in the 80s, they if you had HIV, they basically corralled you into this, like, community. Like, they basically were like, well, we're gonna keep you out of society now, and we put you in this new little society. And, like, by American standards, that's like, oh God, no. But what was interesting about it was, there was these punk rockers who, like, for some reason, like, the government, like, fed them and, like, gave them housing, but it wasn't, like, the greatest housing, but basically the government would feed you and house you if you had HIV. You just had to stay away from everyone else. So there was actually this movement of punk rockers who actually, like, they couldn't really fit in normal society. Like, they just wanted to, like, play punk music and do shows and stuff like that, but, like, you know, there's really no place for that. So a lot of them, what they started doing was, they purposely contracted HIV so that they could, the government would take them in, and they basically built this huge, huge community out of the government was totally paying for their food and housing, and then they just played guitar and basically till they died. It was kind of like this weird, like, thing, and it was kind of crazy. I can't even remember. That was one of the days I ended up on a weird YouTube channel. That's right. I was like, the best part was I was at work, and I was cleaning, I had to scrub some stuff all day, and so I'm like, I gotta find some interesting stuff, and it was learn out about this punk rock culture, and I'm like, all right, cool, and so I did, and yeah, that was I thought that was kind of neat. It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of messed up that people were doing that, but that they were purposely contracting it, but it happened, so talking about it doesn't change it. So it's kind of weird moment in humanity. Humans are really weird. Being one, I understand how weird we are. I still want to know where the free food's coming from. What are you talking about, Hekaho? I don't know what you're talking about. I need to keep taking breaks, guys. I'm talking nonstop. Oof. I'm feeling it. Feeling it in the throat. It's starting to sound like I smoke 12 packs a day. Which is why I have 1,000 beverages right next to me. I have Coca-Cola. I have tea. I also have some bread for a snack. I should probably eat, because I do forget to eat on these live streams, and then by the end, you guys, you probably don't notice, but when I forget to eat, I get literally derpy. So it's and then later on, I'm like, did I say that? And I'm like, it was right at the end of the live stream. Oh, I was just hungry. Nothing like hunger to make you go a little nutty. Why is the fret bar that low? That's not where that goes, but I'm drawing this from a reference. And that's where they put that. That's not. Of course, then again, he has a harp guitar, which exists, but it does exist. It's real. Harp guitars exist, but I don't think this one. I don't know if this one could exist. It had to be one crazy instrument maker, someone really crazy. Apparently his guitar only has 3 strings. Don't tell anyone. It's got no tuning pegs. Where are his tuning pegs? Who designed this thing? course, that's the beauty of animation. It doesn't have to make sense in reality. I actually went through like a really snobby phase where I thought that all cartoons had to be like somewhat realistic, and this was like about when I was like 18-ish, like because that's when I started like teaching myself stuff about animation. And the problem is a lot of stuff when you're learning is you know, they say it very yes, he tunes it with magic. That actually, that's probably what he actually does, come to think of it. So damn, I want this guitar now. But anyways, like right when I was at the point of teaching myself animation and stuff, I was 100% into it. And the thing is, when, well, in general too, when artists talk about art, usually it's pretty, you know, it's usually pretty stuck and highfalutin, you know, like it's just like, oh, this is real art here, this is what art is. So like, unfortunately, that's usually what you end up learning from. And when you're first starting out and like you don't really know what you're doing, you know, it's like you just kind of, you hold to that because you're like, well, this person says this is what art is, so that's what it is. But really, like, you kind of have to like decide for yourself what it really means to you. But it kind of ended up making me go through this snobby phase where I was just like well, that animation's not very realistic, you know, and I'm like, I was very like picky about things. Like I was obviously like Studio Ghibli was like a big one. I'm like, you know, like, well, it's not like dragons aren't real, but like this is a realistic depiction of a dragon. And like that was kind of like the stupid snobbery I was going through. But at the same time, I was also in my I was in my anti-anime phase, because like I think everybody gets there for some reason. But like I was like, anime is not really animation. I mean, Miyazaki is not anime. Like that was basically like my argument. It was really funny. Luckily for me, I talked to people, and my friend Scott, who is like amazing, because he's like taught me like so much about animation, and he was just like, he finally just looked at me one day and he's like, you know, Tori, anime is animation. You know that, right? And like, I don't know what happened, but like my stupidity melted away, and I'm like, I'm a freaking idiot. Anime is animation. Why am I sitting there saying it's not, like it's lesser than like some other form of animation when it's just another time, you know, or another kind of animation, you know? So luckily, you know, I had friends that, you know, freaking smacked me back into gear. But I mean, I kind of had to go through that snobby phase though, because like I just had to absorb everything. I was like, I'm listening to all these master animators, and you know, like that's the thing, some master animators, it's like you talk to a Disney guy, and like he's, you know, he's gonna tell you Disney animation's the best, because why would he tell you Warner Brothers is the best? He works at Disney. Like, he's done his entire life as Disney. He's not going to sit there and derail his entire life's work. And yeah, like, so like I ended up having my bit of a anti-anime snobby phase. I actually kind of had an anti TV animation phase too, which was weird. Like, I remember like Adventure Time had come out, and I was like looking at the freaking noodle arms, and I'm like, what? Those aren't how like arms work. And here I am actually drawing a similar style, but but like, yeah, I kind of just, that's the problem when you're learning, is that you're trying, you don't, you know nothing. So you're like, okay, I don't know shit. But at the same time, you're just yearning to understand um, what the people you like are doing, and so you end up, basically, you just have to. It's kind of like when you're a little kid, everything your parents tell you is everything, and it's law. But then, like, when you start getting older, you start sitting there and you start going like, wait a minute, it's literally no different for learning to draw, because you basically have to like listen to these people who are telling you this is art, this is what this is, and you go, oh, okay. And then, like, as you're going along, you're sitting there going like, you know what, I think they might be full of shit. And then you start doing your own thing. So unfortunately, it's kind of like part of the process is just to like end up in that like really snotty phase of thinking you know what you're doing, and or like, it's like, oh, anime is not animation, or like I remember, like, and now I look back at that and I'm like, what the hell was my problem? Like, I don't even know where I heard that, but it was like, I think it was something like, basically because most anime is animated on threes, so I sat there and I thought like, oh well, like Disney animation is like a full frame rate, and they're just doing 3 frames per second, like that's ridiculous. And by the way, it's not 3 frames per second. It would be 3 drawings per second, basically, that are like usually flipped back and forth. And that's the thing too, like some anime is really cheap and does that, but then, or sometimes animes will mix it where like they have like cheap moments where like it's just like 2 characters talking and it's just the mouth moving up and down, but then they have these brilliantly like complex action sequences, which is pretty much where all the budget went. So they're like, okay, all our budget went to the cool action scenes, so now we gotta just like move that mouth up and down and call that good. And like it never detracts from the entertainment, and I think that's really what matters is in animation is, does the animation style and storytelling, like, do they clash or do they work together? Like I've another show I really loved. I don't know if you remember this show, Danzig, but Daria, that was one of my favorite shows growing up. And it's funny because it was actually out of like circulation by the time I was watching it. It just happened to be like on this one channel that like they took it secondhand and they started playing it. And like the animation in that is like nothing. There's like almost no animation. Like everything is pretty much just flat. And like if you put that show on mute and watch it, it's kind of hysterically bad, like what you're actually watching. But because of the ability of the voice actors and because of the clever writing, it's like when you're watching Daria, like you never are distracted by how cheap the animation is. And that's really, I think, what it comes down to is like they could have like fully animated Daria, but they didn't really need to. It was exactly what it needed to be. It had just enough motion to convey the story. I mean, yes, they could have done more, but they didn't need to. So it's like, if you're telling a story with a lot of action, obviously you're gonna need that full frame rate. But if you're just doing something where it's like, you know, like Daria with like just like the stupidity of high school, like you don't need full animation for that. Come on. But yeah, like that's kind of the point I'm at now. It's like it all depends on like what you're going for exactly, because I guess what I've noticed is people don't really know what they want exactly most of the time. Like I don't like. Actually, Futurama made a really good joke with this, and I think it was really telling from Matt Groening's perspective, because he's he's kind of been doing this for a long time. And it was the episode where like the it's like Omnitraxis Persei 8. They invade Earth and they're basically mad because their favorite show got pulled off the air and they wanted to see how it ended, so they were going ahead to they made the end of the show. And Leela was trying to make something revolutionary and new. And Fry was like, "No, you can't do this." She's like, "What? But they said they want something revolutionary and new." And he's like, "Yeah, they say that, but what they really want is the same old stuff. They don't want anything to change." And so once they kept it on the status quo, everything went normal and was okay. But that's kind of true, because that's kind of why you get these weird shows pretty much anything Gennady Tartakovsky does besides Samurai Jack. He has these great ideas and you're like, "Oh my god, that sounds like a really cool cartoon show," but then they're like, "Yeah, but we're gonna cancel it." Or to me, actually I found out recently a little bit more of the history of El Tigre, which I really liked El Tigre when it came out, but they apparently they got canceled after one season, basically because at the time what Jorge Gutierrez said was he's like, it was ahead of its time, and I'm like, I kind of agree with that now. How do you mean with Mario Odyssey? I'm actually kind of curious. But yeah, Jorge was saying that El Tigre was a little ahead of its time, and it's like, oh, and also hello Hekaho, sorry, I'm doing 3 things at once. And I kind of agree with that, because apparently they were getting really freaking stupidly racist shit about El Tigre when they were making it, and basically Nickelodeon was it wasn't doing well enough in the markets they wanted to do, so they just went ahead and canceled it. And but luckily, if that hadn't have happened, we would have gotten Book of Life, which is a beautiful movie. But that's the thing, you people say they want something new, but then when you give them something new, they go, "What is this? I just want the same old crap." And it's kind of sad. Basically, and when something comes out and people are like, "Oh, this is new and revolutionary," it usually isn't. It's just the same thing dressed up in a way they hadn't seen before. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of the whole thing that 2D animation is dead. I love that, because if anything, 2D animation's well, that's the thing. I've kind of I don't really get into Mario games very much, anymore. I always wait for the new Star Fox, but they always release Star Fox games 10 years apart. And I still haven't gotten the new one yet for the Wii U, just because broke. Well, not broke, but I got priorities, I think is actually the better way to say it. I'm like, oh, well, I could drop $60 on Star Fox, or I could pay my phone bill, My phone bill's not exactly 60, but, it's still... If I spend 60 on Star Fox, I don't have the, $45 for the phone bill, so... Oof. But... I mean, that's the thing, too, if they, well, with Mario Odyssey, honestly, when I was looking at it, it just kind of looks like Super Mario 64 to me, honestly. It seems like the same concept. You're running around an open world, and you're, it looks like... I haven't looked too much into it, because I just wasn't very interested. But, to me, I guess that was kind of the main reason I wasn't interested, because I kind of just looked at it and was like, oh... Alright, it's the new 64, it's the same thing. And I'm sure it's still a fun game, but Alright, I think my Rubariat's done. I've rambled on long enough. What else I got? I have the endless possibilities of anything that this paper could become. What should I do? You know what? That sounds like fun, DZ. Oh my god, so when I was in middle school, Nintendo was religion to me. And I remember I actually went through and got all of the all the Nintendo systems. And I remember though, like, I thought the Virtual Boy was actually like a console, but like it never, like, and like looking at it now, I can see that misconception. But like that's the thing. Like when I found out it was supposed to be like a portable system with like, and like the thing is, it's like people go like, oh well, they have the VR headsets now. I'm like, no, you, if you've ever seen a Virtual Boy in person, it's like wearing half a Super Nintendo on your face, like a full Super Nintendo. GameCube was amazing, but I'm kind of torn between Nintendo 64 and GameCube. It's really hard. I'm gonna say, I can't say. It's like I can't, like 64 GameCube definitely liked. Wii was kind of a disappointment to me. I didn't like much on the Wii. Wii U I actually really enjoyed, even though the sales of the Wii U were failing. But like I've always liked the Wii U. Like I thought it was really fun. Like I still play Breath of the Wild on it. Like it's, I don't know why people had a problem with it. But yeah, when I saw, I never got a Virtual Boy, but I was in Salem, Massachusetts of all places, and there was this old timey game store, and I loved that place. I did buy my Super Nintendo there. Um, I never really was a competitive Smash player. I dabbled. I was more of a kill you and Star Fox Assault kind of player. That was like the only game I was ever good at. But anyways, we're in Salem, Massachusetts, and there was this video game store, and I bought my Super Nintendo there, but they had a Virtual Boy, and it was the only time I'd ever seen one in person. And I remember I'm like, oh my god, a Virtual Boy, and he's all like, oh, you want to see what it looks like? And I'm like, yeah, and it's like I was so excited, and I looked into those little eye holes, and my eyes got burned out. Like it's like I was sitting there going like, because at first I thought this was gonna be like really cool, and like it was gonna be 3D and it was gonna be super fun, and then like it hurt my eyes, and then I found out it was supposed to be a portable system, and that was when I started laughing because this thing is huge. Like a picture of it doesn't do it justice. Like this thing is big, like, and you were supposed to strap it to your head, and it's like, no. And I just remember like this guy was like, it was for sale. I could have bought it if I wanted to, and I like had the money to. And that's, I remember that was like, I was like, oh, do I get the Virtual Boy or should I get the Super Nintendo? And then like after I looked at the Virtual Boy, I'm like, I'm going with the Super Nintendo. There's no way I am, playing that ever again. Like just the God, I think I had it on for like 2 minutes and I wanted to die because it was just the most painful, absolute painful thing in the universe to play, to wear, to exist. And the fact that it was supposed to be something like the Game Boy was like even more laughable. It's like no, Nintendo. Nice try though. They had really crazy ideas back then though, because like that's the thing too, like nowadays they don't really do anything too radical with video games. And oh my god, Hekaho, you actually played a full game on the Virtual Boy? Like how did you do that? Like I was like on for like 10 seconds and I wanted to die. And I was like really excited about it too. Like I was ready to play Virtual Boy. I'm like, I'm a Nintendo. I love Nintendo. Nintendo's everything to me. I don't care. And it was like I was like, I'm like, maybe the burn means it's working at first, like when my eyes were burning out of my head, but like, nah. Virtual Boy sucks. There's also like this like very rare game for the Virtual Boy called like Mario's Woods, which is apparently like one of the best games for like Virtual Boy, but I'm like, no thanks. Like I'll just you know, I doubt it's so good that it's worth burning my eyes out of my skull for. I very much doubt it's that good of a game. I'll just go play Kirby or something on my Super Nintendo. I don't have Kirby Superstar on my Super Nintendo, but I really wish I did because that was like my favorite. I do have it on a Nintendo DS though, which is kind of like cooler because I can like bring it with me anywhere. Yeah, I don't even know what Wario Woods is about. It's probably about Wario taking out your retinas and replacing everything you see with the color red. And red's my favorite color, and even I'm like, too much red. This is too much red. I mean, the system itself, like the actual device, looks pretty cool. Like, if you like it looks cool up to the moment they're like, now you have to strap it to your head. You're like at first I was thinking like, I thought like, you know, you just set it up and whatever. No, you strap it to your head. Wait, what? You're gonna strap what to my what now? No, absolutely not. Stay away from me, you weirdo Japanese Nintendo people. Red's your favorite color too? That's awesome. I don't actually meet a lot of people whose favorite color is red. It's typically blues and greens. I knew someone whose favorite color was yellow. That was kind of weird. You'll almost never meet someone whose favorite color is yellow. It's kind of interesting. But my favorite thing about the color red is that, and like this is kind of why it's like become my favorite color, is because like everybody has like different reactions to the color red. Like some people do not like the color red because they're just like I had one girl tell me like she didn't like the color red because like, you know, it when she sees red she sees like yeah, that's the thing, like I liked the look of the Virtual Boys game, but like play like the something about the way it was designed just freaking hurts your eyes to play. So like I'm not surprised that Virtual Boy didn't work as a successful console. But the thing about the color red, and like I was talking to this one girl and she was like you know, she didn't like the color red because it made her think of anger and like blood and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, cause to me, I think I really started liking the color red. With I had a T-shirt with 2D from the Gorillaz on it. I still have one. It's not the same one, but it's like it's the same design, but it's not the same shirt because my dad ended up destroying it because he's a dingus. And he's like, I'm gonna wash laundry with Pine Sol, and literally, unfortunately, my 2D shirt was in that load, and it was like rest in peace because it came out with like a ton of holes in it. My dad's a little bit nuts. So anyway, but like that was the thing. Like I always liked the color red, and I always associated it with like that shirt, and I always associated it with like happy. Like I was like I love like every time I saw that shirt, I smiled, and like I also loved like just how like when you see red, like or at least when I saw red, like what I see is like like I'm like it's interesting. Like there's something like bright about it. Like it's kind of like it's like to me it's like the color of awesome. It's just like it's red, awesome. Okay, cool. But the color red, like as I started asking people about it, I kept getting like I kept getting responses like that where it was like I don't like the color red because it makes me think of anger, or I had people being like I don't like the color red because it's like they're like it's like a romantic color. They're like it's like the color of passion, and they're like and you're like so it's like they're like you should only use the color red for something like you're super passionate about. And I'm like sitting there going like I just think it's cool, like just like like I'm sitting there going like but like I got a lot of people like with responses like that, and it just kind of made me fall in love with the color more because what I realized about the color red was just like everybody has their own reaction to the color. And so like there's really like in the end it's just a color. It's just red. But like some people like it seems to no matter what, red gets a really strong emotional reaction from people. And so like I think that's kind of like why I like it is just because it's like I like because I like talking to people and like knowing more about people and just kind of like it's just like I don't know like I don't really how do I explain it like I spent like a lot of time not liking people, and now I'm like kind of like well I am a people and I kind of want to understand more about like why people think the way they do, and like just like I find people interesting and neat, and like I especially weird people or the weird people because they're just amazing. Like you're kind of like why would you think that way, or like why would you think that. So I end up talking to a lot of people um that like most like that a lot of people like probably wouldn't talk to, but it's like because I like knowing more about people, and that's kind of why I like the color red. It's because when you show people the color red, everyone has a different reaction to it, but in the end it's just red. So and like I don't know, people's reactions to the color red I think tells a lot about them too. So like I feel like like if you're kind of like put off by red, you're more of like a a lot of times I mean like it doesn't like immediately like say exactly what, but like like the girl who didn't like the color red, she was like super chill, and like she was like I never saw her angry in my life. Like she was just always just like yeah. So the fact that she kind of associated red with like anger and like violence kind of made sense, and like it was kind of like that kind of stuff is what I find interesting. You should show your computer. What do you? Is there something bad on your computer? I don't think you can show it on the live stream chat. I don't think that's how it works, but we wow. I'm gonna be honest, this image is so bad I can't tell which one's the A and B button. Okay. So you just wanna like do a hey, check out my awesome computer post. I don't know, like, Amino's been kind of weird to me lately, like, and I don't mean, like, specifically the app or anything, although the app has been weird lately. It's just, like, it feels like, it feels like Amino goes through, like, really weird patches, and what I really think is it's just, like, people, and it's, like, people kind of, like, come and go, and then they, like, come back at certain times, and then they're, like, you know, it's kind of weird. Like, Amino is an odd place. I think that's why I like it, is because it's weird. But I still don't quite, like, understand the whole vibe of it. I've also met probably the creepiest people on the internet on Amino. Not you, Heka. Don't worry, it's not you. But no, I've had some really freaking weird weirdos, like, not the cool kind of weirdos. The creepy creeper on you weirdos on Amino. So it's kind of like, Like, I literally almost quit one time, actually, like, and that was back in April of last year when, like, I was actually, like, really starting to gain traction as, like, a pretty well-known artist on there. And I was at a point where I was, like, literally considering quitting, but, like, I decided I was going to stay a little bit longer, and then, like, I ended up staying because I met some cool people. No, I won't quit Amino. But it's been weird lately because, like, Star Season 3 is meh. And, I feel like kind of like the like some people are still, like, really into it, but, like, I'm just kind of like, I'm not super into it right now. Like, I kind of hoping Season 3 picks up. Like, I've talked about it a little bit, and I guess we'll find out on the 22nd, but like, this season hasn't been fun whatsoever. And, like, that's kind of my problem, is, like, the reason I fell in love with Star was because it was just pure fun. And, like, I'd kind of, like, at the time I started watching Star, I'd still kind of been a little bit in that I was in all stories need to be serious kind of mode, I guess. I was in that phase where I was like, every story has to be, like, artsy and, like, mean something and, like, have a big statement, because, like, you know, it was stupid phase. And and then I started watching Star, and I'm like, you know, this is, like, ridiculous and fun, and, like, it's just you know, like, Star and Marco going on adventures. Like, this is really cool. And, like, that's what I loved about the show. And then they kind of, like, fucking ruined it, like, this season. Because, like, from the moment Star leaves Earth, like, I feel like it's a totally different show. And not in the good way. Because, like, wait, what news? Oh god, it hasn't gotten worse, has it? But, like, Battle for Muni was the biggest disappointment of my, like, of my Star love. Because, like, I remember, like, it was right after all of what happened with Star and Marco, and I'm sitting there going, like, oh my god, are they gonna be friends still? Is everything gonna be okay? And then, like, Battle for Muni, wait, it was delayed? I thought it was gonna be the 22nd. How couldn't they stop delaying it? Because it's like, it's not keeping my hype up, it's making me just not give a fuck anymore. It's like they're literally killing the show. Like, we're not at an interesting enough point where delaying the show makes me, like, more excited to see the episode. Delaying the episode just makes me go, you know what, I should probably go check out those other shows my friends have been telling me to check out instead. So great. So the new episode won't be on the 22nd. Great. Alright then. See, like, this is the thing too. Like, they did this with Gravity Falls, but it worked for Gravity Falls because Gravity Falls had cohesion. Like, they knew where they were going with the whole show. But then, like with Star right now, it feels like, honestly, season 3 feels like a whole different show. Like, and like that's what, like, to me, like, the Star I liked, like, died in that last moment in season 2 when, I mean, because, like, Star had to leave Earth because Toffee had returned. Toffee was supposed to be some big threat, but, like, really, Toffee didn't do anything. Like, and, like, somewhat, I was talking to somebody and they made an interesting point, but, like, to me, it still was not executed well. Because they're like, well, you know, Toffee did, they did go like, oh, well, Toffee did kill Star, so that was kind of a big deal. And I sat there and I went, okay, yeah, but, like, there was almost, like, no moment where I actually felt like Star was really dead. Like, let's be honest, that moment did not work. Like, I didn't think Star was dead. Like, it was like, oh no, Star! I'm like, she's not dead, she's fine. And then, like, when Marco punches the hole through Toffee, that was, like, the coolest part. But then, like, you know, Star comes back and it's fine, and she has magic, more magic than ever, and destroys Toffee. And so, like, Toffee's endgame basically looked like all he wanted was his finger back. So it's kind of like, that was lame. Meteora, see, this is my problem too with season 3. We have so much interesting stuff going on. First of all, you got Eclipsa, who has been frozen for like 600 years. She has a daughter, apparently. And, like, that's the thing to me. I'm like, does Eclipsa know her daughter's alive? And that's the other thing, is Eclipsa really guilty of anything bad? Like, did she really actually, like, you know, was it really actually, like, that bad of a thing that she went with a monster, you know, like, that she fell in love with this monster? You know, these are questions I have. The other question is, like, are Star and Marco even friends anymore because Star is being such a bitch? And none of these things are really being answered. The whole show is, like, right now just not fun. And that's the other thing too, it's getting, like, political because it's all like, oh, the monsters and the humans, and, like, and Star's really trying to, like, get the monsters and the humans to you know, not be separated, which I think, like, I mean, I'm not saying that that's a bad theme. I like it, but the problem is it's like they're focusing on it so much that it's, like, in your face, and it's like, it's not like, where's the fun adventures of Star and Marco? Like, it's gone. Like, that's kind of what I was watching for, and now, like, they say they're friends, but they're not really friends. Like, let's be honest, like, Star's being a jerk to him. And the other thing is, it's kind of like, why doesn't Marco just go with Kelly? I gotta be 100% because, like, Kelly seems really cool. And, like, he should probably just go with Kelly because, like, Star's kind of a pain in the arse. I don't know exactly what Meteora is gonna do, but, like, that's the thing too. Like, is Eclipsa gonna, like, find out her daughter's alive and then team up with Meteora? Like, I mean, it's just kind of like, like, I mean, I think we're, like, what, like, about almost halfway through season 3, and all the episodes have been about fucking shipping. And I love shipping. I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's like, they're not even doing the fun stuff. Like, Marco's basically being just, like, a jealous jerkwad. And to be fair, Star is being a total, you know, she's like, that's the thing, like, it's like, when she left Earth, she was totally in love with Marco, and then, like, Battle for Muni happens, and then, like, it's like, like, I just don't see how, like, Star's not treating like a friend. Like, I think the best episode in season 3 so far has been, like, the quest buy one, where she's like, you know, Marco's trying so hard to be, like, the best squire, and then Star's like, listen, like, I don't even care, like, I just wanted to be able to, like, hang out and do fun, cool stuff again. And I'm sitting there going, like, can we have that for the season now? Like, could we do like, because that's kind of what I want too. Like, it's just, they've spent half a season on stupid filler bullcrap, and it's like, and the thing is, it might lead up into something bigger, but at this point, it's like I don't even like you've lost me. I don't care. Like at this point, like Star and Marco could get together, and I wouldn't even give a shit. I'd be like, whatever. I'm so bored. Like, you just made me sit through like several hours of just like, you're supposed to be Star's boyfriend, and like and like it's like, and that's the thing too, it's like you can tell there's a lot of questions that like we want answered but like aren't being answered. Like if they were gonna do like a filler episode too, we spent 2 seasons on Earth. I'm kind of wondering how the people on Earth are like going on. Like maybe somehow that could tie in. It could be interesting, but I don't know. Or if they really wanted to not focus on Earth, like you know, we could have more focus on other dimensions we haven't seen yet. Or we could focus on like anything that's not ship wars. Or we could, you know. like season 1 and 2 Marco, like I feel like even after Star's like, dude, I have a crush on you, and like, oh well, you're too late, now I'm going out with Tom, I still feel like season 1 and 2 Marco, you know, Marco and Star would be like, oh well, we're still friends, and they'd still be like just as friendly as ever. But like in this season, they're just kind of jerks to each other. It's painful to watch. It's like, I love this show so much. I loved this show so much that I went to LA to the Gallery Nucleus show just to see all the Star artwork. That's how much I love that show. And this is the crap you're giving me now. It's like, why are you doing this when you have so much potential? And they're trying to build it up to something bigger, but the problem is they're doing it like in the worst way. Like, because I don't like, I really did care, and now I just don't care. Like I wanted to know what happened with Star and Marco, but I don't really care. When I watch all the new episodes of Star season 3, I feel like I'm watching a really good friend like lose their mind, and they're like slowly dying, you know. So it's so like I'm like you know, I'm like hoping they'll snap back into the old Star. Yeah, and like, because it's like, this was a show about like 2 friends who were like got along so well, and like, you know, it was just beautiful, and now it's just a show about like me, and it's like, and I have to be the new queen of Muni and whatever, and like, which is cool and all, but like, just, it's just not being presented very well. But this virtual boy looks really good, so that's one thing. But like, yeah, I feel like I'm watching like a good friend get dementia and die. Like, that's kind of what it feels like watching season 3 for me. And like, I also have to point out, if you haven't watched season 1 or 2 and you're suddenly watching season 3, like, nothing makes sense. Like, you can go into season 1 or 2 not knowing anything. You can click on a random episode and enjoy it. But if you actually think about watching almost any episode of season 3 on its own, almost like none of it stands up whatsoever at all. It's like you have to know what's going on to understand anything, and it's not enjoyable. Also, one of my friends is speculating Toffee's not dead, and that he's actually going to make like this huge comeback, and I'm like, I really don't care. Like, that's the problem. They've not built it up to be interesting. They've built it up to be like just like I'm at the point where I'm like wanting to scream at the screen, like, get on with it. Like, just what's happening? Just go. Just like, because I know the reveal is going to be lame. Like, that's kind of how I feel like right now, just because like, that's what they did with Toffee. I thought the reveal for Toffee was going to be really cool. It was nothing. It was just like, I want my finger back. Oh, wow. Good job, Toffee. Wow. Very intimidating. Mm-hmm. Wow. Like, much evil. Like if you compare to Gravity Falls, like Bill Cipher gave me nightmares. Like Toffee doesn't give me nightmares. Toffee just looks freaking like a crocodile lizard guy, like who's in a suit. And oh no, he's so scary. Not really at all. He's not scary. The beautiful Virtual Boy and all of its glory. Of course, I don't think I can leave it like this because it's just not the Virtual Boy unless it's red. But yeah, like I can't stop endlessly ranting about season 3 Star just because it's like you know, like I just don't, I'm so bored. Like at least if you're gonna build it, make it interesting. Like make me sit there and go like what's going on, like, but like they're doing all this stuff with like Tom and Marco and like Star, and it's like I do not care at this point. Like I'm like, okay, Star's with Tom, okay, like Marco should really just go out with Kelly or something, or like at least like they should become like good friends, you know, like they should be like, maybe Marco's like, listen, I just had this crush I've had forever on Jackie go to hell, and I just had this thing with Star go to hell, and I just want to have just a normal friend just to hang out with, like, and then him and Kelly should hang out, and that should be it, because that sounds awesome, you know, and then like maybe it could turn into a romance, but at least that way it would be like an interesting build into a romance, you know. Right now it feels like Star's with Tom and they're kind of trying to ship Marco and Kelly because it feels like they're trying to be like, Starco's not happening, but really Starco's gonna happen. Like that's what it feels like to me. Like I'm not saying like I absolutely think Starco's going to happen, it's just that's how it feels like. It feels like they're trying to be like, oh no, it's not gonna happen, and then it's gonna happen, and then people are gonna be like, whoa, and I'm like, like, the only reason it feels so obvious is because they're pushing so far away from Starco. Like, they're pushing it, like, they're like, nope, not gonna happen. They're, like, pushing it so hard that it's not gonna happen that it makes me think it's probably gonna happen. You know, they're not distracting well enough. It's just so disappointing when, like, you love a show that much and then, like, it's just, you're wondering, like, what are they doing right now? And it's like, it honestly feels like the start of season 3, they're just like, well, we want it to be an anime. So, that's what we're gonna do. And we're just gonna, like, totally throw out everything that's happened so far. And just totally do a different format. It's gonna be a totally different show. Like, that's kind of what it feels like. Is a totally different show. And I swear if it doesn't pick up in the next few episodes, I'm just gonna cry. Just be like, rest in peace, Star versus the forces of evil. I knew thee well. Not to mention, I'm like, really, Disney? You already had Zootopia. Like, they're doing the whole Monsters and Human thing. So we all knew that was going to lead somewhere, but it's like, but why are you shoving it in our face? Like, I think it's a great thing to, like, kind of put into cartoons and stuff. But, like, they're making it like way too much Stars, like I'm just gonna be the next best queen of Muni, and like it's like I don't believe you, Star. You're the rebel princess. What are you doing? No. Like I don't know, like the episode with Meteora was a good episode, but like I felt like there was some stuff about it I didn't like. That was just like, not that like I didn't like the theme, I just feel like they're not writing it good. Like they could write it much better, and they have written it much better, so it's like, why are they not writing as well as they used to? I can't figure it out. Alright. This actually looks really good. Oh yeah, Moon was so responsible. That's right. Yes, that's why she made the deal with Eclipsa. And like, and that's the thing too. Moon keeps insisting Eclipsa is evil, but like we're not seeing that yet. And we have also had it revealed that, you know, like the captain's painting, a la me, is is like a secret tunnel that Eclipsa used to use to get around the castle, and that she's, even though she's been locked away this whole time, she's potentially been like moving about the castle. So like, what has she been up to? Like, has she been like? Because I mean, like, yeah, she came out to like, oh, what was she doing anyway? But I can't remember. But like, you know, like she doesn't seem like she's up to any, you know, anything bad. But at the same time, she's been supposedly locked away, but totally free the entire time, unbeknownst to everyone. So it's like, what could she be doing? Like, maybe she's trying to escape. Maybe she's not trying to escape because she thinks she's gonna win the trial. Yeah, like, well, the thing about Moon making the deal to defeat Toffee as well, I don't think Moon really needed to do that. Like, it doesn't, like, that was the thing too, the other arc of the Toffee storyline felt stupid. Like, I mean, Toffee killed her mom, but the other thing about it too, storytelling lesson right now, killing a character nobody really knows about doesn't matter. Like, yeah, it's Moon's mother, so you might sit there and think, like, you know, in your own experience, like, I'll be like, oh no, like, why, you know, like that's terrible. Like, I wouldn't want my mother to be killed by a lizard man. But we never got to know Moon's mother. We barely know Moon. Like, we're starting to get a little more glimpse of who she is as a person, but we never knew Moon's mother. So like, when it was like Toffee killed my mom, it was like, oh shit. But at the same time, it was like, it would have had way more impact if there had been like an episode about Moon's mom going after Toffee, and then Toffee just, you know, like, they don't have to put it on screen, Disney obviously, but if they developed Moon's mom as a character a bit more, and like we actually like were like, oh, this is a cool queen, and then Toffee killed her, then we'd be like, fuck this guy, you know, like, he's gotta die. But we have no emotional connection to Moon's mother other than correlation to real life. So what the thing is, like, when Moon said that to me, I was like, Toffee killed someone? Like, that was kind of my reaction more so than anything. I was like, and then it was like, Toffee killed a queen of Muni? It was like, oh, like, shit, like, because, like, to me, that was like, oh, it's a killed a queen of Muni, but that's the thing, like, I didn't feel it on, like, a human level because I didn't know Moon's mother, so it's like, the random character we didn't really know anything about died. Oh no, like it kind of, like, it had an impact, but not nearly as much as it, like, it didn't freaking like gut punch us, you know what I mean? Yeah, actually, I do have to, I've been wondering about that too, because Toffee's skulls on his battle armor have Eclipse's cheek marks, but the thing, I mean, what I'm kind of thinking is, Moon does say that Eclipse never escaped. Like she never really got to like run off with her monster love and escape Muni. They were meeting in secret, obviously, in the little tunnels and shit. But they never got the chance to run away from Muni together. So, she was frozen in crystal. Now, the thing is, I don't know about you, but, you know, you freeze the person I am totally in love with in a crystal for, you know, and I no longer know where they are or anything, and, like, I am, you know, this big monster guy, right? I don't know about you, but I'd be heckin' pissed. And, I would think that maybe that's what Toffee's army was. You know what I mean? Like it's probably like this, it was probably an army that was started by Eclipse's monster love or something like that. And like, who basically they're entirely against Mumins because the Mumins took his love away from him. you know, it kind of makes sense. And then over the years, it basically just became a hatred for humans, you know, which also makes sense because the humans treat monsters like shit. So, of course, this is all interesting, so they probably won't do any of this. Jerks. But, like, that's the thing, though. Like, there are some things they just haven't developed very well, and they're just trying to skip ahead, and they're, like, missing moments where they could have had a way heavier emotional impact or, like, just story impact, and they're, like, missing it. And, like, to me, too, Season 3 Marco doesn't seem like, yeah, like, what happened to Eclipse's monster love? Like, I want to see this guy animated. Like, I'm waiting for that moment. And then the other thing is, like, what happened to Marco this season? Like, to be honest, like, Marco feels like a totally different character. I don't even, like, because, like, to me, like, everything about this season seems off. Star doesn't seem like Star. Marco doesn't seem like Marco. Even, like, Tom doesn't seem like Tom, to be honest. I'm glad we're seeing more of Jana, but, like, I'm kind of sitting there going, like, why didn't we see more of Jana when she was on Earth? Because, like, that we are off Earth now. We are in Muni, and we're seeing more Jana than we saw of Jana on Earth. And it was like, okay. But yeah, like, honestly, all of the interesting questions right now are about Eclipsa, her monster love, and Meteora. I don't really care about Starco right now. I'm like, tell me about this. Like, and they're, like, not focusing on that at all. And it's, like, boring. I'm like, you know what I want. Why are you wasting my time? I'm pretty sure that's probably what's going to happen. And that's the thing. I actually agree. I think Meteora's going to, like, kind of, like, walk in and be like, sup, bitches, during Eclipse's trial. Only because, first of all, it's predictable, but second of all, because it's predictable, and third, it's predictable, so they're gonna do that, probably. But, like, I don't know what that's going to lead into, or, like, what they're doing. Like, I'm just totally... I like, it's so hard. Like, I want this to be good. I want Season 3 to come back to life and, like, renew my hope in Star versus the Forces of Evil, but it is just it's been such a disappointing, like, I mean, it started in July of last year, and, like, it's just been disappointment after disappointment, like, since. Like, I am, like, just go back to, like, and just make it fun again. Like, it's not fun anymore. Like, I mean, like, everything seems like it's building up to something super serious, but, like, we're not gonna find out till the last minute. And the thing is, like, they're building up, like, things that are gonna be big, not so much, like, character moments. Like, the biggest character moments are Eclipsa and Meteora. We kind of want to see, like, where that's going. But to be honest, I have, like, no emotional connection to Star or Marco anymore. Like, I don't care. Like, Star could marry Tom at this point, and I don't care. Like, it's like they've made them so unappealing this season that it's like, just like Eclipse is, like, the most interesting character to me. Like, how Star is having that moment when Marco first comes back, and she's all like, and he comes back and expects me to do this, and then he wants everything perfect, and, like, and then they have that moment sitting on the bench. Like, that's, like, a really nice moment, but like, everything else is kind of meh. Like, the Quest By episode was pretty okay, but, like, that's the thing too, like, it was okay. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, yeah, I want to, because that's what I've been thinking too. Eclipse has been super nice up to now because, like, you know, she's been frozen for 600 years, so she's probably just like, I'm glad I'm not frozen. But, like, that's the other thing. Like, she probably assumes her daughter is dead. Like, I would, you know, if I had a daughter and then been frozen in ice for 600 years, I'd assume probably dead, you know? Probably lived a life or something. You would hope. But but like that's not even like talked about. Right, DZ? It's just like the problem with me too, DZ, about Starverse is just how much it means to me. Like the show really, it's one of those shows that made a lot of difference in my life, as stupid as it seems. Like, first of all, it was like the show that made me kind of realize that, like, because it was like a great mix of like action and girly stuff, and it was like it kind of made me realize like the fun girly anime stuff could also be kind of cool, you know. Like I was like, yeah, this is cool. But like like I mean, it meant that to me, you know. Like I sat there and I'm like embracing the cool things about girliness, and just the fact that it was a fun show. Like it was super fun. Like it made me sit there and think like maybe I'm going too serious with my cartoons, like cuz I was still kind of in the serious phase. It pulled me out of that. So like it did that for me, and like I got like my first weird tiny cult internet following from my artwork from doing fan art for Star. So it was like it means that to me. You know, it's like people notice my art because of Star versus the Forces of Evil. I've met my amazing animation cartoony like friend for life. Like we're like this when it comes to cartoons. You know, it's like I met him on there, and it's because of Star versus the Forces of Evil that all of this happened. So like that's the thing. It's like I actually have like a really hard emotional investment in the show, and it's like, and they're just sucking, and it's like how damn you. And so that's why I'm like I can't stop like lamenting. Like it's like watching a really good friend go crazy and die, and like you're just trapped watching it happen. You're wondering what are they doing, like why is nobody helping them, why can't I help them. I like bust into Disney TVA and I'm like, listen, Hekaho comes out of the ceiling. And we just like totally take over the script. Actually, we should probably do that, Hekaho. Like I said, I'll be in Burbank in April. I'll tell you the days, you show up at the same time and we'll just bust into Disney TVA. I think I know a spot on the Disney lot where we can jump the wall. Just secret between you and me. I think we could pull this off. We'll have to bust down the we will have to bust down a few doors, and we will have to outrun several security guards, but I think you and I can pull this off. Like, if anyone can do it, it's me and the hoe. Somehow I could totally see that too. We're just like busting and we're like, we're gonna save this show. Of course, the unfortunate thing about that too is we'd still have to wait till season 4 because all the episodes of season 3 are done. Like, they kind of like, you know, they get them all done ahead of time, so it's like this, like, the time between script to screen is like really long, so, but we might be able to save in season 4. Doesn't matter, I'll just forget season 3 exists and we'll just move on. Me and Hekaho breaking into Disney to change TV shows. That's the show you'd watch? I'd watch that too. See, like, but that's the thing though, to make an interesting show, like, that's all you need to do is just be like what would be something like really cool, like, two internet friends who are in love with a show, disappointed by the current season, meet up and basically create a show heist, and they like break into the studio and they like infiltrate it. They replace 2 of the writers, and like they start making the show, and the show, like, here would be the thing, the show would become like more successful and people would love it, and then all of a sudden it'd be like the twist would be like the executives find out that the show that suddenly becomes successful is becoming successful because of two people who weren't actually writers on the show, and just like basically like I don't know, like we sent two of the writers to like Rio, you know, like and they can't find their way back, and like they come back, and then all of a sudden like maybe that's the reveal. They're like, those aren't the real writers, and they're like, but the show's been more successful than ever, but they're not the writers. What do we do? And like that's like, I mean, that's an interesting story right there. Like that's a show, and like, and then all of a sudden like there's the point where they're like, well, do we keep them on the show? They broke the law, like, you know, like that would be interesting. And that's all you need for an interesting show, is just like really good characters doing really fun things. And that's what I loved about Star versus the Forces of Evil. It was like, I love Star and Marco, and I love them doing fun shit. That's all I needed. That's all I need. Like, you don't need to like be like, uh, we're doing this for free, writers. Yes. Well, I mean, there's fanboys and stuff who would literally do it for free just to make sure it didn't suck. You know. But that would be really funny, because the other thing would be like there could be a funny angle to the story of like, so like me and Hekaho, we break in and we start writing on the show, but then we're like, shit, we don't have money, and no place to stay, and then and then we'd have to like, it'd be funny because like we'd have like a side job at like Starbucks. So like during the night we'd be like baristas, and then during the day we're like working at Disney, and it'd be so funny. And like that could be like, I mean, that's like a really funny story there. But like that's all you need. Like you know, the most interesting plot in the world means nothing if you don't have interesting characters going along. So, you know, like that's all you need. Interesting characters doing things. Like, it doesn't even have to be crazy things. It could just be like two interesting characters go to the mall. Like, how do they react? But like season 3's totally lost that. And honestly, can I be honest? Like, I feel like season 1 and 2 Marco, like, if he did come back to Muni and like Star was dating Tom, and I say season 1 and 2 Marco because like this is season 3 Marco's totally different, but I feel like season 1 and 2 Marco would have just been like, even though he clearly has a thing for Star, would be like, well, you know, that's it, you know, like I acted too late, but like we're like, you know, like I missed you as a friend, like, you know, like I still want to be friends. I want to like have that, you know. Like, I feel like that's like season 1 and 2 Marco, but the season 3 Marco is just like, so like, you're supposed to be Star's boyfriend, me, I'm an idiot. You know, it's like, the other thing too is like, it's not really even Marco's fault, because like Star should have fucking told him that she liked him, because if she had told him that, like, none of this would have happened at all. We wouldn't have a shit season 3. Like, I mean, honestly, Star, like, really should have said something. And, like, she was, like, pushing him and Jackie together. Like, she should have, like, been, like, at some point been, like, I'm an idiot. Marco, I like you. And then Marco would be like, wait, what? And then it'd be like, you know, like, so stupid. Yeah, like, well, that's the thing, too, like, Hekaho. Like, you're sitting there going, like, let's make the whole show about, like, one focused character. It's like, yeah, so the show's called Star versus the Forces of Evil. It should be focused on, like, one character and, like, their relations with other characters. So, like, for instance, I would think Star and her relationships with, like, Marco, and, like, in terms of, like, friendship, you know, like, Tom, and just, like, Star should be such a likable character that you want to see how she interacts with all the other characters. But instead, it's just kind of, like, a clusterfuck of, like, everything's going on. And, like, especially season 3 Star. I do not like Star right now. I want to cry about season 3 Star. I think I talk about it at least once a live stream now. Moon versus the Forces of Life. I'd watch it. But that's the thing too, like, when with the flashback scene of Moon, and like during all of that, why didn't we have like a full episode of that? Like, here's how that episode probably should have gone. You should have started with Moon's mother going against Toffee, getting killed by Toffee, showing that effect on Moon, showing Moon's deal with Eclipsa, and kind of rolling it along, so that way it reinforces that Toffee's evil. It gives a more emotional impact when we, like, because, like, it's really easy to make a character likable right off the bat, so they just make freaking Moon's mom, like, the most likable queen ever. And then, like, we get kind of that backstory of Moon being, like, this young princess who suddenly becomes queen and now has to figure out what to do about an army of monsters, while still, like, you know, like, because I remember her saying, like, I couldn't even choose what boy I liked. You know, I thought that was really funny. But, like, they could have done something like that. And that's the problem, is, like, why didn't they do these things? Why? Like, instead we needed an episode about the pony heads. Like, really? Like, I don't hate that episode, but it's kind of like, why? Like, it really didn't achieve anything. At this point, I kind of hope Jan Star's endgame for shipping. You know? At least I'd be like, alright, there we go. That's a pretty good twist. Okay, I think this virtual boy is virtually done. Let's see. I love drawing. I love cartoons. Just gonna draw this. Where's my Blackwing? I'm just gonna draw me watching season 3 of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. I have big, watery anime eyes. Of course, I'm wearing my Dipper hat. I hope you know I'm not listening to music, but in my head, all I have playing is Untitled by Simple Plan. And if you don't know that song, you should look it up and you will understand. Look it up later. You'll understand the torment. Basically, it's just him going, how could this happen to me, over and over again. So, just to give you the gist. How could this happen to me? February hiatus. Oh god, I better not be. Like, stop pushing it back. Like, we're not waiting anxiously. I'm so sad. Watching what feels like a good friend dying. Come back to life, Star versus the Forces of Evil. I know you can come back. You meant so much to me. You've changed my life. Stop sucking. I will say the first episode of Star vs. the Forces of Evil really sucked. But, because I actually, fun story about how I got into Star. Watched the first 3 episodes around when they first premiered. Like, not exactly when they first premiered, but, like, around that time. And, like, I was just totally bored with those first few episodes. And I remember being like, yeah, this isn't my thing. But then, like, around the end of season 1, like, people started going like, whoa, this show's really picking up. And I'm like, all right. So I started watching it again, and like, it was about the Muberty episode where I sat there and went, okay, this is really stupidly weird. I need to see what's happening. And that's like, and like, that's really when I started watching, was like when people were like, oh, it's getting good. I'm like, oh, it's getting good, cool. Because like, honestly, it did not immediately impress me at all. But then it really impressed me, and now it's really disappointing me. It's been an emotional roller coaster. Just want you to be a fun cartoon show. I just remembered I have to do double work at work today. That is a horrible thing to pop into your mind. Damn it. Oh well. At least I get weekends off. Like, honestly, I think that's probably been like the biggest thing with my job, is like I have weekends off, so I don't, no matter how shitty everything gets, like, I've been so used to most of my life working jobs where you don't get the weekend off that I'm just like, I can deal with it. It doesn't matter. Wait, actually, my coworker said she was gonna text me, and I bet that's what that text message was. I was ignoring my phone, but now I'm like, I should probably look at it. Oh shit, yep, there we go. Oh yes, I'm gonna have to work double today and tomorrow. Awesome. Okay. So this is me watching Star season 3. Just praying. Just hoping. Kind of happened with Danny Phantom season 3 too. Danny Phantom season 3 is notoriously the worst Danny Phantom season. Something about season 3s suck. I don't know. So, and I feel like part of the reason season 3 is probably sucking so bad is because they found out at the same time they were going to have season 3 and season 4. And I think they're just kind of like riding that out, because they're like, oh, well, we got season 3 and season 4, so we know we got at least 2 seasons, so we can make all the episodes line out. Yeah, and it's like, no, you're not doing it right. This one's going on Amino. Definitely. And just like post it self-portrait. That's, I should probably make it a little bit. Nah, I don't like that. I feel like, honestly, I feel like I can make this frowny face a little bit more comical. There we go. Yes, that feels more accurate. You're gonna feature it. You're gonna be like, yep, this one's featured. Let me make sure I get my pins. Okay. Actually, if I'm gonna post this, I should go all out. I made my mistakes. I still got that Simple Plan song stuck in my head. There's something that should have died in the 2000s and actually it's kind of dead. Do you remember Simple Plan, DZ? Do you remember? I loved Simple Plan back in the day, but like I listened to them recently and it's like I don't know how I like put on headphones and went, yes, I'm gonna listen to this today. It's just awful. And I was talking to my sister about it too, because like we listen to the same stuff and we listen to Simple Plan, and she was talking about it because like they still do shows and stuff, but like she's like, yeah, if you want to go to a Simple Plan show now, like they're like less than $20 and you can pretty much just walk in the door. Like you don't even have to like order the tickets ahead of time because she does like a lot of concerts and stuff. So like she was just like, yeah, Simple Plan is like if you really want to go see them. Like I remember me and her saw them at Six Flags New England back in the day when they were like still big. And I actually got to meet the drummer, and like that's the thing, like they're cool people. Like they're awesome, and I don't want to like discredit that, but I remember even being like 13 and listening to the CD and then kind of like looking at the CD cover and looking at them and I'm going like, they look like they're like about 20 something. I'm like, why are they like singing about how hard it is to be my age? I'm like, I relate, but like, why are you singing about how hard it is to be my age? And the best thing I remember, I was sitting there going like, well, they look like they're 21 and I'm 12-ish or whatever. So I'm like, maybe they're just dyslexic and they think they're 12. Like, they're like, you're 21. They're like, I'm 12. And they're like, no, you're 21. I'm 12. Because they can't put the numbers in the right order. But, like, I mean, I have some nostalgia a little bit for some of the music. Like, every once in a while, I'll be like, I'm gonna listen to some Simple Plan. But, like, it's usually, like, you know, like, I look left, I look right, make sure the room is clear. You know? Because it's like they're so, I don't even know what to say. I'm like, we listen to this is terrible. I'm the one you love to hate but not today. Like, oh god, it's just so, oh god. And like everybody listened to them pretty much, so it's like you can't pretend like you didn't listen to Simple Plan. If you existed at that time, it was on the radio, and like we didn't have good internet, so you couldn't avoid it. It was everywhere. It was worse than Shape of You. It was everywhere. And it's just like that they definitely did not age well. Like, and I've listened, they still make new music, but like it's pretty much the same sound, same concept. It's still I'm not gonna do what you tell me, Mom, even though I'm an adult. It's kind of just like sad. That's like one of the sadder nostalgia things. Like, but there's your next whatever happened to, like whatever happened to Simple Plan. And it's like everyone. Of course, you probably shouldn't do that because it'd be like people be like, oh yeah, Simple Plan. I don't really care. So you wouldn't get enough views. So you probably shouldn't do it, but it would be pretty funny. It's like a concept. Whatever happened to Simple Plan? I don't know. It could be really funny to do, honestly, just to see what happens. Like, but like I just like I'm being kind of like, I don't know what the word is, like cynical. Like I'm just like, yeah, no one will probably watch it. They'll be like, not because it's like the video's not good, just because people are like, nobody's looking to see what happened to Simple Plan. No one cares. Sorry, Simple Plan. I love you, but no. Nah, your videos are good. I like your videos. I watch them. Let's see. I think this is like the most beautiful self-portrait I've ever done. I'm like, no. Star, stop dying on me. No, but like I have fond memories of going to Simple Plan shows, but they're pretty like that's kind of like something like when you're gonna bring up the best part of the early 2000s, you kind of just you hide that under the rug. You're like, nah, Simple who? No, we weren't listening to that at all. Like we definitely didn't go to their shows or anything ever. Wait. Oh, sorry. I just saw that Hekapoo. Or Hekaho. Confusing. I got hex of. My Hekapoo is on Google? Really? Is it like under images? Well, I'm gonna pull it over to my other monitor. I have to see this now. I'm like, wait, what? I don't see it on the main page. Like, is it like it's probably like page 2 though, right, or something like that? Because I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm on, and I just typed in Hekapoo, nothing else. Like I didn't type Star versus the Forces of Evil or anything. I just wrote Hekapoo, and oh, it's the one I did in Shark. Oh, there it is. Oh my god, it's there. Wow. Holy shit. That's really cool. Alright. Like, damn, like. See, like, that's just amazing. One of my pieces of artwork is on Google. Like, and it's on the main page. I just found it. It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because Hekapoo has like all the reds and everything, so they all kind of like merge together. But I'm like, oh shit, mine got on Google. It's one of the first images, you know, like one of, well, it's this kind of middle ground, but wow. I guess I'm on my way, guys. That's crazy. I want to go back in time to 12-year-old Tori, who was like desperately trying to get any attention on DeviantArt, and then be like, look, this is the voice actor, because the voice actor for the show actually, Adam MacArthur for Marco, one of my other Amino friends tweeted my artwork at him, and he liked it, and then Hekaho was tweeted my art at Ariel's VH, who is a storyboard artist on the show, and she liked it. And now I'm on Google. So, like, I mean, it's not like an animation award of any kind, but like, I mean, that's pretty good for, for me. I mean, that's something to be excited about. I mean, like, it's not super big, but it's not something to be like that's not something to brush off. It's really cool. Because, like, if I went back in time and talked to, like, 12-year-old me and was like, dude, like, we're on Google. Yes, thank you, Hekaho, for everything, honestly. If I went back in time, though, to younger me, who was just like, I can't draw, and I'm going to be an animator somehow, but I don't know how to do this. And I was just like, hey, look, the voice actor for the character recognizes us, and the storyboard artist recognizes us, and we're on Google. She'd be like, I'm gonna keep drawing then. Okay, cool. Like, I'll just keep practicing. Because obviously, if you're from the future, I get there eventually if I just, like, keep practicing. Be like, yes, good job. Good job, younger me. That's how that would go. So pumped about everything. Like, life is just beautiful. Like, I've been having such a wonderful week, and, like, and now this is just, like, a beautiful cherry on top. I'm slowly going places, but I'm going places. I'm on Google. So silly, but still really cool. Well, let's see. Oh, it's like 1:26, so I got like about half hour, 45-ish minutes left for you guys. So just to keep you all in the loop. Doop 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 doop. And I get to do double work tonight. Yay! Extra money! And extra back pain. Okay, the extra back pain part's not so cool, but you know, extra money's awesome, especially since I just bought a plane ticket to LA. So, yay, gonna pay off that plane ticket. I mean, $115, that is a beautiful, beautiful price. I'm still kind of like in shock over it. I'm like, that's really, really good. It's been a really good week. Hopefully next week is at least just maybe next week will be just as good, or at least averagely good, you know, because it's always hard when you have like a really good week and then you have to like follow it up. You just don't want it to be like a really crappy week. You just kind of hope it'll be like an all right week, you know. I'm glad you all joined me for these live streams, because I think if nobody showed up for the live streams, I probably would have just stopped doing these like 2 live streams ago. It's kind of just a weird experiment, honestly, because I was like, would anyone even want to like sit there and like watch me draw and like listen to me blather on for hours? Or and it turns out you do. And I'm glad you do, Hekaho, because I mean, I seriously, like, I wouldn't I wouldn't see the point of like doing live streams if, you know, like no one's gonna show up, you know, unless like I was just planning on using live stream to like demonstrate something and I just wanted to make a video quick or something like that. But yeah, I love drawing live for people too, and like, I mean, I don't mind like people asking questions and stuff like that, and hopefully, you know, we get a little bit more of a following as time goes on. Like, wait, why have you been banned from streaming, DZ? What the fuck? Why would YouTube ban you? Like, you're like, no. You want me to put a good word in? Be like, he's a good kid. I don't even get, like, how you get banned from streaming. Like, what do you have to do? Like, did you, like... did you just, like... Oh, yeah, that would do it. I guess I could better be... like... You know... It's just silly, honestly. Like, they were able to, guess, like, flag that or something. I guess I better be careful if I get really good at rendering nude figures, because what happens if I, like, render, like, this beautiful, like, naked woman, and then all of a sudden YouTube's like, you can't live stream anymore because your art's just, it's too realistic. So we're gonna that's what would happen to me. But I mean, honestly, if that happened, I think I'd just take it as a trophy. You know, like, I'd print out that sheet, like, they say, like, you're banned, and I'd, like, put it on the wall and be like, that's how good I drew some, you know, some anatomy there. But I don't know. That seems really stupid. I mean, at least you didn't have a dead body. I mean, come on. Too soon? Like, let's see what this looks. Oh, that looks pretty good. When you're working on a light box, you want to, like, kind of check, because, like, it's really easy for your line quality to go to crap because the light's in your eye and it looks okay, but then when you shut the light off, you're like, oh, that's not what I was going for. So I'm always nervous when I do that and I shut it off. But with this light box, and, like, I'm in love with this light box, it lets you dim the light, so I actually have it, like, really low when I was doing the light box stuff, so, like, it actually reduces the amount of line variation for that reason. It's pretty cool. Alrighty then. Best self-portrait. Okay, I'll do some etching there. Cross hatching is what it's called, but there's like 10,000 different ways to cross hatch, so it's like, and this is how you do cast shadows in black and white pen and ink. And I learned this from just staring at Stan Sakai's art too long. Okay, now I gotta do the word bubble, and that original word bubble really is bad, so we're going to... well, I don't even technically, I think... I'm gonna show you another one of my cheats while I'm here. Because now this is a piece of crap, right? Because, I mean, this can hardly compare to this and how beautiful it is. So now I just go. Let's see, is that blank on that side? Exactly where yes, okay. All capital letters. Okay. So we're gonna put that nice spacing away from my head. And you don't want it to have too much of a tilt. I think actually it'll line up pretty good. A little bit. Want to keep it mostly. That looks like it'll work. Okay. So I just penciled it out on another sheet of paper, and now I can go straight into ink right here. And I just used the same paper because like that old drawing now is just garbage. I don't need it anymore. I have this beautifully inked version, so who cares? That's another moment when your art will get better, is when you stop treating every doodle like it's sacred, because I remember doing that. And now I'm just at a point where I'm just like, well, that's a piece of crap, throw that out, draws a new one, that's better. Then a few months from now, I'll look at it and be like, that's a piece of crap, and draw it better. And all I need to do now is do word bubble circle. And I'm gonna do a sad, droopy word bubble tail because I'm really upset. And then I will re-sign it. Ta-da! Now this is garbage. It's garbage. It's gone. I don't even need it. Okay. So we are at the 20-minute moment. What should I do for the last 20 minutes? Okay. Honestly, DZ, me and you should probably just like start doing a stream together. Honestly, because like you show up for this stream all the time. And like we should just make it official. And like in Hekaho, if you can show up all the time, maybe we could just make it an official like you, me, and Hekaho, and like maybe Boston if he's not too weird. Well, he's weird, so maybe not. Nah, he might join though. Like maybe he could just pop in randomly. Like he'll just be the guy like, oh, hey, I'm here, bye, and then that'll be it. And that's exactly how he talks. That's a perfect impression. Alright, so last 20 minutes. Honestly, I still have the Hekapoo pictures up in front of me, and I never get tired of drawing her. So, I mean, she's really fun. Oh god, actually, it's funny, we already had that discussion. Me and Boston already had the discussion about Boston cream donuts. Having worked at Dunkin' Donuts, I can confirm that, first of all, Boston cream donuts are delicious, and then second of all, that they will kill you. Like, but that's because of how delicious they are. Like, they are the most deadly of all the donuts. Now I want a donut, hecka. God damn it. Maybe I should just draw a donut, because that was actually a discussion. That was the discussion that led into that, was, you never see a still life painting of a donut, because you can't just set a donut down for, like, a week and, like, slowly graphically render a donut, because some jerkwad is gonna run in the studio and steal your donut. So that's why there's, sadly, Oh my god, I could draw him as a donut because I know what he looks like. Oh no. Hold on, I gotta. Let me see if I can message him right now. He's working on drawing shit. Let's see. Let me see if I can message and be like, hey, can I draw you as a donut, and just see what he says. I'm gonna tell him you're requesting it. Let's see. See, I get all the most important like permissions first before creating art. Like, can I draw you as a donut? Is that cool? Probably gonna do it whether or not he says yes or no anyway. Just be like, I know he'll love it anyway. It's like not the weirdest thing I've ever drawn and sent to him. I don't even know how. I don't even think he's gonna believe me on this one. Actually, I should just freaking See, honestly, like I like the thing is, we always show up for these Thursday live streams, and like we should probably just make this like an official like, hi, welcome to our new live stream. So like we should just freaking do it, honestly. Maybe we could even like wire it so we could actually like all talk at the same time, and it's not just me talking and then everybody else is texting, because like I'm the overlord with the microphone. He's not gonna believe it, so I'm gonna screenshot it and send it. Actually, I'm gonna be honest, like Boston's one of my favorite people to draw. So like I will draw him as a donut, but the problem is I'm kind of like trying to get the image in my mind. It's probably like the most terrifying thing, because like Boston creams are like flat, so like I'm like I don't even know how I can do this. Like it would be like, and like the distinctive features he has are like, you know, like emo hair and like shit. How would I draw him as a donut? Well, you know, I'm gonna start just by doing a little hecka-ho doodle. Or hecka-poo. God damn it. Hecka-poo is now hecka-ho because I just can't differentiate them. So I'm just gonna doodle a quick hecka-poo. Not hecka-ho. Hecka confuse me for life. Like, God, I could imagine meeting, like, Darren Nefsey, for instance, or something like that, and then being like, oh yeah, and I love the character Hecka-ho, and then being like, oh shit, I just said Hecka-ho to Darren Nefsey. That is what would happen. And be like, oh god. And she'd be like, Hecka, who now? And I'd be like, and then I'd have to be like, look, there's this amazing person, and their username is Hecka-ho, and like, I can't differentiate them anymore. So I just called your character Hecka-ho. That would be really... that would be my luck, though. That would totally be it. Like, that would just... And it would be, like, someone, like, that, too. Like, it wouldn't just be, like, accidentally to my friend. No, it'd be totally, it'd be, like, to Darren. And then I wouldn't get the job at Disney, and then I'd cry. I'd be like, no! It's all because I called Hecka-poo Hecka-ho! What the hecka is wrong with me? Just put hecka in front of everything and say it's the ho language. Like, it's hecka awesome. Like, it's like hecka... That's just the ho language. You just put hecka into everything. Whee! Just doodling, having fun. Doo doo doo. See, I think that's the problem too. Like when people draw, like they always try and like make it super serious. I'm like, seriously, like the weirdest thing about drawing is that the more just fun you're having with it, the more the drawing tends to look better. Just if you're just having fun with it and you're not worrying about like what other people like, because that's a lot of things too. Like there are some people who just draw for like attention, obviously, and they're like I want people to pay attention, but like nobody really pays attention. It's mostly because it's like they're just trying too hard. Like just have fun, you know? Unistar. I don't know if I have enough time. That's a lot of details. Unistar has a lot of details. I don't know, maybe. I was just doing this as a little doodle. Wee. Wow, that hair though. Oh my god, 80s version of Star vs. the Forces of Evil would suck though, because it would just be like all the girl characters would be stupid and the boy characters would be stupid, be like My Little Pony circa 1980s, you know, like that kind of like, because that's the thing I definitely love about now versus like I always do like now versus the old stuff too. Another thing that sucked about back in the day was like like all the girl characters sucked, and like now we actually are getting shows where girl characters are awesome, so it's like I'm finally happy about that. But like I remember just being like, I remember me and my neighbor Peter and oh god, Disco Marco. I think I have to write that down for later. Disco Marco. I don't think I wrote that really good, but Disco, there we go, now I can read it. So, I don't know. I feel like we should make this like an official thing. I don't know how we'd set it up exactly. Like I don't know what you're setting up for live streams, DZ, but just don't post any pictures of, you know, paraphernalia on my live stream. And so, because like if we both get banned, then it's screwed. But also, I'm a goody two shoes, and I'll cry because my record will be ruined. Fun fact, I've never returned a library book late. Like, that's how good of a goody two-shoes I am. Never. Not once. Never. Because I would never break the sanctity of, like, a library book. I am a goody two-shoes. Through and through. Forever. With slightly rebel. Okay. That's honestly, maybe like, meh, I don't know. Just having fun. Okay. Oh hell, I could try drawing Unistar. DZ's gonna post it. Like, what I love is too, like, just like the weird conglomeration. It's like me and DZ have been online friends since I was 16, and me and Hekaho have been friends online for about like a month-ish, and like, and then me and Boston have been friends for about like 3/4 of a year, and it's like all totally like random different like all totally random different places we're coming from, so okay, let me, I haven't drawn Unistar in a minute, so let me see if I can just pull it up on my computer. See if it just pops up. Oh hey, there I am. And let's see, go down, down, down. Pick me up, I'm falling. Okay. Is it this one? Oh wow. Livestream number 2 was a simpler time. Let's see. Oh, there you are. Okay. Alrighty then. Cool. Let's see. Just in case the YouTube video starts playing, I just muted it. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna go like, I think I'm just honestly like Normally you wouldn't do this, but I'm just gonna do this because screw the rules, I have cartoon skills. Wait, DZ, did you watch Little Karibo? I can't remember if you were one of my Karibo dorks with me or not. Like, God, I love Little Karibo though. I still love him. Like, I haven't watched anything recently, but like I realized like I reference a Little Karibo video at least once a week by accident. So, well, let's see. Okay. So like I need to catch up. I don't even remember where I left off with Little Karibo, but I'm telling Boston he was too late in responding, so it's gonna be later. One day I will draw him as a donut. Because I haven't drawn it yet. But I will. But anyways, I'm at the end of the live stream. I'm a little loopy. But Little Karibo is amazing. Hekaho, if you don't know who Little Karibo is, he basically spoofs Yu-Gi-Oh! And he's really funny, and like you don't really need to know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh to watch it. Like it definitely makes it funnier. He's getting that one too, Hekaho. Stop my live stream. Okay. So anyway, he's got like really funny stuff. It's just ridiculous nonsense. And it's amazing. You should watch Little Karibo. Okay. But like screw the rules, I have money, like is probably like one of the greatest lines ever. I'm going like really wavy with the dress. I'm going all out. This is the last drawing of the live stream today. And then I have to go to work and clean twice as much. So like I really gotta put it into it, you know? Okay. But we're gonna, you know, maybe not. Yeah, like something like that. And like she's gonna be like fucking about to go Super Saiyan. I don't know why. Cause I can. And then them wings coming out. Fuck yes. See, this is how you're supposed to draw. Just have fun. I'm like sitting there going like just wings come out. And this is probably gonna be like a really messy drawing, but like I could, for instance, like, I don't know, clean it up later and make it look amazing if I wanted to. I do so many drawings that aren't cleanups that like, you know, but like I can clean them up. So like if you go through and you do like 10 drawings and like you don't like all of them, but then you have that last one, you know, it's awesome. Okay, so let's see. I feel like I'm playing Beat the Clock. I'm like, I can do this. Honestly, I don't have to be done right at 2 o'clock on the dot. I mean, God knows I don't start at 10 o'clock on the dot. Although today was the best. Today was the best. Because I've actually been starting to, like, prep it the night before. Although I had a little bit of a malfunction today. I prepped it last night, like, where I set up, like, the OBS, everything on it. And last night I set it up, and it was great. And then something in me was smart and said you should like check to make sure it's all okay. So I came down here and it freaking froze when I took it out of sleep mode, and so I had to reset everything up again. But because I'd like already set it up, like it was pretty well to do. Oh my god, this is looking really good. Oh my god, girl, what am I doing? Like, hot diggity damn, this is awesome. I love my life. This is like the best week I've ever had. Like, I'm so happy. I'm gonna cry, guys. I'm just so so happy. I had a dream my sister got bit by a snake last night, and it was scary. It was really, like, it's kind of been fucking with my head today. Like, it keeps popping back in my mind. I have really realistic dreams. And it was really stupid because, like, my sister was, like, basically she's trying to open this window, and, like, it was, like, an old-timey window, so, like, it wouldn't stay open. And, and, like, she was trying to, like, put a stick in it to hold it up, but, like, there was a snake coming in the window, and I'm like, just close the window, hit the snake, like, whatever. She's like, no, it's too hot, this window needs to be open. And, like, and then, like, the snake came after her, and, like, I had to, like, drag her. She got bit, like, twice, and I, like, dragged her into this apartment. It was really weird. And it was just a really weird dream haunting me. But I can tell you why people like to draw your character a lot, Hekaho. First of all, you're an interesting person, which, believe it or not, has something to do with it. Because, you know, you're like, hey, I'm awesome, what's up? This is my character, ain't she cool? That's the first part of it. The second part of it is the character actually is cool. And, like, you know, you're just, like, you're totally into it and you're having fun with it. And I think that's the other thing. Fun. Like, it's fun to draw. Because, like, you know, like, yeah, it's a fun concept, and then you're not, like, you're never, like, telling me, like, oh, you're not doing it right, because there's nothing worse than when someone's like, hey, could you draw my OC? And you're like, sure, and then they're like, you're not drawing it right, and it's like, well, I'm drawing it for free, so shut up. So, but, like, you never do that, and then also, like, you have combined all, like, the most fun elements of, like, every character that's already in the show, so, like, it's really fun to just kind of combine that together and, like, see what happens, you know, like, it's really fun. Alrighty. And I got little eyes there. Alright. Kind of doing weird foreshortening on the legs, but it's alright. Like, honestly, it's kind of neat still. Anyway, I might, maybe, actually, I could probably change it later and do something more interesting, but, let's see. I'm doing some creepy ass eyes, because fuck yes. And I'm gonna do a snake tongue, alright? I hope that's cool. I feel like because everything's pointing down, I should point the wings up more. Alright, and with like 1 minute left on the clock. Holy shit. Good job, Tori. I might change the legs later, actually. might do something totally different, but I think that's pretty cool. And it's 2 o'clock, and I think we'll call that good. I'll post this one on Amino, but I think I might actually I might fix this one up a lot better. Because why not? I should probably, I mean, since I'm not gonna draw star art today. Draws like a 3-star versus the Forces of Evil pieces. Of course, I also draw really fast. I don't know if you noticed, but like, so it doesn't really matter. And honestly, though, the best star related one is clearly this one. Like, dear God. But yeah, it's been fun. Honestly, guys, I think we should like literally make this like, we should make this a thing. I don't know how, but we should. I don't know how we'll figure it out. Yeah. Your hoe powers definitely do work, Hecka Ho. And I'm glad you show up for these live streams. I'm glad DZ shows up for these live streams, and like, it's cool. Like, I honestly, this has just kind of become like a really fun, oh, hey, Boston. How's it going? Like, you came in, I'm about to end the live stream, dude. Dork. Yeah, sorry. No, you were too late. We didn't draw you as a donut. We'll have to say that for another live stream. But I did draw me being very sad about Season 3 of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. And I did draw this. And here, I'll just do a quick recap. You know, we did Hecka Ho, or Hecka Poo. God, I can't call Hecka Ho. I can't call Hecka Poo. Goddamn, I can't call Hecka Poo her real name anymore. Let's see. Thank God you don't want to be drawn as a donut. I'm gonna draw you as a donut, bitch. But anyways, Virtual Boy. It's beautiful. I drew Rubariat, of course, and then there was like some Rubariat sketches, and like, then there's the hands, and then you were here for this, and then that's where I started today. So yeah, that was pretty much it. That's the recap, because Boston decided to fly in at the last minute. But alright, I'm just gonna cut it off there, and hopefully see y'all next week. I mean, if you're all good. So yeah, thanks, Boston. Awesome. Thank you. Actually, thank you, everybody. I love you all. You're awesome and amazing, and I'm gonna stop now.